Baker Mayfield was under the tutelage of Cliff Kingsbury with the Red Raiders in 2013, and they didn't part ways in a way that Baker Mayfield felt it should have ended. And so certainly this is not just another game for him.
We will get into that as the night progresses. See Lincoln Riley, but Kingsbury's supposed to be an offensive genius, and their offense has come under some criticism the last couple of weeks, and they will get the football first as Oklahoma has won the toss and deferred. Texas Tech to our right will receive in the white. Austin Seibert does it all for Oklahoma. Kicking, punting, and kicking off, and we are underway. And Cameron Batson will allow the touchback to take place, and that's how we will start. The Red Raiders on offense, and say hi to Nick Shimonek. What a fascinating story. Other guys get to play maybe 2, maybe 3 years. He's got one shot at it this Grease, and that's this season. Yeah, as Todd mentioned in our open, he's waited his turn. I got a lot of respect for quarterbacks in today's college football that don't just pick up and leave and go somewhere when they don't win a job. He's had to wait his turn, and he's got one season to prove. They started fast. They were hot, 3-0, and they've lost 2 of the last 3, and Nick Shimonek has to play his best game of his life if they're going to pull this upset in Norman. No Justin Stockton for Texas Tech, dealing with some concussion issues. Trey King is in the backfield. And here's the opening play from scrimmage. It's an inside handoff to King, and he'll break some tackles, and he's across the 30 out to the 31-yard line. Take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players. Yeah, the Red Raiders will be without Justin Stockton, their starting running back, so a heavy dose of Trey King, as you saw in the first play. Dylan Cantrell looks to be a target in the passing game for Simonek, and then Devontae Lampkin, a big 340-pound defensive tackle for Oklahoma. Quick screen out to the flat. That's Cameron Batson, and Batson will stumble forward. Stephen Parker able to push him out, and I don't think he got the first down yardage. Third down and short. And big key in this game is, can Texas Tech run the ball with any kind of consistency? That's why they weren't able to beat Iowa State a week ago. They didn't have that consistent run game. And these short third down situations, you got to have it. 3rd and 3. We expect a lot of 3-man rush. And you'll see only 3 defensive linemen out there for Oklahoma. And on 3rd down, they'll run it, and they'll get the first down. Trey King is into the secondary. He's out past the 40 before Will Johnson stopped him after the gain of 11. That's exactly what you have to do with 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers in the box. Texas Tech has to be able to run the ball 3rd and short. Goes some tempo again with King, and again it's Parker, the team captain, on that Oklahoma defense, to put the stick on him.
You guys mentioned we're going to see a lot of 3-man rushes tonight. Oklahoma's going to want to back off and make them drive the length of the field with a lot of plays in that drive. And I think the key tonight for Shimonek is going to be patience, not try to force the ball, take the short throws, and keep the chains moving.
2nd down and 8. Hand it off again to King. Trey King has found some more running room across midfield and down to the 45-yard line of the Sooners, and a good start on this drive for Texas Tech, gain of 11. Well, as you mentioned, Todd, they're going to want to make them go the length of the field, but if they're going to be able to run the ball with this kind of success early in this game, this is what will force Oklahoma and Mike Stoops, their defensive coordinator, to play a little bit more pressure for defensive linemen up front. So an early sign on the positive for Texas Tech. King already up to 28 yards rushing on his 4 carries. Fresh set of downs for Texas Tech. Fakes the pass and hands it to King. And he'll stumble forward for 5 more yards. Caleb Kelly brought him down. This goes against everything that Cliff Kingsbury and the air raid offense wants to be about, right? They want to come out and throw it all over the lot. I think in talking with Cliff last night, he realizes that he has to approach things differently now. Defenses are playing his offense in particular on the perimeter and forcing them to be able to run the football. And so a different approach, a good start for him on offense. 2nd down and 5. Again, it's King. Why not? First down yardage inside the 35. Kelly brought him down, but not until it was too late. And the other thing that's a little bit different is they're not going quite as fast. They're taking their time at the line of scrimmage. And I think Cliff realizes that he needs to protect his defense
from Baker Mayfield, the Oklahoma offense.
7 offensive snaps, 6 times so far they've handed it off to King. Here's another carry for King, taking people on like Will Johnson. Trey King is a interesting story, the former walk-on from Hutchinson Community College. How bad did he want to get to Lubbock? Well, let's just say he took a bus. How about 20 hours? That's when you know a guy wants to play for your team. And he's walked on and done a great job, and especially in the absence of Justin Stockton. King will get a breather now, and he'll check out of the game.
Great spot on the field and in this drive to take a shot off play action when you've been running it so well.
Desmond Nisby checks in. He's the big bruising back, and he gets the football, and he's got first down yardage too. 25-year-old Desmond Nisby. Already 4 first downs on this drive, and again they keep it on the ground with Nisby, and he'll get just shy of the 20-yard line.
You can tell this offensive line for Tech was challenged this week. Terrence Steele, the right tackle, Travis Bruffy, the left tackle. Both of them have come out and been more physical. That's what they needed up front. True freshman Jack Anderson at right guard. They got a lot of inexperience, but they came to fight tonight.
Not one senior on that offensive line. And Shimonek doesn't have to throw the football, not yet anyway. Here's Nisby for a few.
I think this is an area of the field. It's going to be a little bit of a different approach for Cliff Kingsbury. It's been well documented, the problems they've had kicking the football. Their kickers have been so inconsistent that this is almost a given 4-down territory, which changes the way that a play caller can call plays on third medium.
Yeah, they admitted they have more 4th down plays in the playbook this week than usual.
So you don't have to get it here. You can run it on 3rd and 5, knowing you're going to go for it on 4th and short if you don't make it.
Nisby is the setback to the right of Shimonek. He's going to throw. And complete. Able to hook up with Dylan Cantrell. Just shy of the 10-yard line.
Cantrell has got to be a bigger part of the offense for them to pull off this upset tonight. No Derek Willies, didn't even make the trip. Going to see more of Cantrell in his position, as well as T.J. Vasher, a redshirt freshman. Both of those guys look to get a bunch of looks from quarterback tonight.
King is back in there. Tyler Carr, the converted defensive end, now fullback, is in their block as well. Hand it off to King. Nothing doing. And he's bumped back.
And you mentioned Cantrell and Vasher. The reason they're going to see a lot of attempts, I think, is because of their size. 6'3" for Cantrell, 6'6" for Vasher. And if you go back and watch the tape, Oklahoma's corners have struggled against receivers with size. Iowa State and Baylor specifically.
There's Vasher one-on-one at the top of the screen.
14th play of this opening drive. Hand off to King. Maybe gets a yard. But the Sooners defense stiffens. Amani Bledsoe came up to make the stop. 3rd down and 8. They can still get a first down. They'd have to get it down inside the 1-yard line.
Now, this is where Cliff Kingsbury and this offense has really struggled. They haven't put the ball in the end zone consistently enough on offense this season.
3rd and 8 from the 9. They've already converted 2 3rd down conversions. 3rd attempt upcoming. Shimonek, all sorts of time. Now he'll get out of there. Buys himself some more time. Back of the end zone. Score for the touchdown. It's Cameron Batson in the back of the end zone. What an opening drive by the Red Raiders. Silencing this crowd.
Great job by Shimonek, knowing it's only a 3-man rush. He didn't panic, didn't throw the ball away. He extends plays, allows the receivers and Batson to find and work the back of the end zone. And you know that Shimonek, if he's on the roll, he's going to be accurate. He's got a big-time arm. And that was a big-time drive to open this game on the road.
Do not assume the extra point. They've had some big extra point issues here. This is Michael Barden. He's made his 1 attempt at an extra point this season. Bit of a high snap, and I told you, can't count on it. Off the upright and out. And the kicking woes continue for Texas Tech. So off the high of a opening touchdown drive. They march right down the field, and then
Partner, I don't think I've ever seen anybody predict a missed extra point.
boink. You just heard it here first. I know it's early in the game, but if they haven't already, Texas Tech has gotten Oklahoma's full attention.
Certainly. Well, and after last week, right, because Oklahoma kind of sleptwalked through the first half against Kansas State. They were down 21-7, and they needed their coach, Lincoln Riley, to wake them up at halftime. I think Baker Mayfield might be a little bit more awake this week than he was a week ago in Manhattan.
There's Michael Barden, who missed on the extra point. There's the kick, and it's Rodney Anderson from the 5. And Anderson, he stopped out at the 23-yard line. So all of a sudden, here's Baker Mayfield down a score with plenty of emotion.
I'm an emotional player. I have a lot of energy. When people talk trash to me, I'm not going to back down. I'm not scared of anybody.
And he takes the field for the first opportunity. Oklahoma has scored an opening drive touchdown in 4 straight games coming into this one. Oh, by the way, now you can say the same thing about Texas Tech after their opening drive.
Really like the way that Baker Mayfield handled himself this week. You know, it was all about the game. Certainly, he's up for playing against Texas Tech, but he mentioned in one interview 5 times he mentioned playing with an edge, and so you know that he's going to be ready to play.
And on his first snap from scrimmage, handoff to Rodney Anderson. Gets to our Chick-fil-A impact plays.
Yeah, a couple of, well, one unknown, Dimitri Flowers, I think is the unsung hero of this Oklahoma offense, does so much for them, especially in the red zone. Mark Andrews has kind of burst onto the scene, been the most consistent playmaker for Baker Mayfield. And Dakota Allen, the linebacker, is going to need to play a huge game if they're going to pull the upset. 2nd down and 4.
Mayfield to throw. Down the sideline, and a pretty ball. Broke it up. Looking to go to CeeDee Lamb, and Desmond Smith had the coverage.
Good first sign for Desmond Smith. And this secondary for Texas Tech, much maligned. They've given up big play after big play. They've been pretty good against the run, but the shots down the field have been where they've really struggled. Look like Smith may have gotten away with grabbing a hand there.
Just going to ask you, you cool with that hand fighting? Maybe not so cool. Here's 3rd and 4. Ball out at the 30-yard line. Mayfield able to step up, throw, and complete to his BFF, Mark Andrews, for the first down.
You know, I think with the way that this game went a year ago, you know, so many points, 66-59. I think both defensive coordinators are going to try to keep things in front of them, and that's going to force both of these quarterbacks, Shimonek and Baker Mayfield, to take what the defense gives you underneath plays like that to Mark Andrews.
On 1st down and 10. Mayfield throwing and completing. Able to hook up with a short gain of Dimitri Flowers. We send it back to Cassidy Hubbard.
Big Steve, Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Number 7 Clemson hosting Georgia Tech, and Kelly Bryant back to throwing touchdowns. This one to Deion Kane, 38 yards. Tigers looking to bounce back from their loss to Cuse 2 weeks ago, up 7-0 early. Steve, Brian, Todd, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, thank you. They rule that an incompletion. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. Going to keep it. And he's down to the 40-yard line and tackled out of bounds by DeMarcus Fields. And the flag does come in late after the gain at 22. Might add 15 to that.
After Rodney Anderson ran for almost $150 last week against Kansas State, you got to respect when the ball goes in his belly. And great call on an early down by Lincoln Riley to pull it for Mayfield.
After the play was over, personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 23 on the defense. That penalty will be 15 yards added to the end of the run. 1st down.
That's DeMarcus Fields, the redshirt freshman from Taylor, Texas.
Well, Baker Mayfield kind of initiates the contact there and then kind of falls down on top. That's a tough position to be in if you're DeMarcus Fields. You're trying to get him out of bounds. He's attacking you, and then he falls on top of you, and they throw 15 yards on you.
So they mark the ball now at the 24, and here's Mayfield to throw. Little pump. End zone looking, and it's caught. Touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, the score.
This is why Baker Mayfield is the most accurate quarterback in college football. It's just a simple route. The safety jumps it. This ball has to be thrown perfectly behind, and it's right on the face mask of CeeDee Lamb. Couldn't walk it to him any bit better than that. And that's what's separated Baker Mayfield throwing the football from most other quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah, the extra point could be the difference, and in this kind of game could loom large. If you're just joining us, Texas Tech marched right down the field, scored a touchdown, and missed the extra point. Austin Seibert has been perfect on the season on PATs, 37 for 37. Make it 38 for 38. And that's the difference in the ball game early on here in the first quarter. Here comes the Boomer Scooter. 7-6 home team. Oklahoma scored a minute 37 into the game. This last drive by Oklahoma, they took a minute 33 off the clock, aided greatly by a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, you could argue that game had two of the better quarterback performances going head-to-head in college football in a long time with Mahomes and Mayfield.
Here's Cameron Batson, who'll pick it up on a bounce and try to go for the cut. Good special teams coverage now by Marcellus Sutton. Able to rear him down on the special team. So again, if you're just joining us, Texas Tech walked all the way down the field.
Yeah, just like they always do, right? You know, throwing the football. No, it was 12 runs and 3 passes. Trey King already 50 yards rushing on the ground. This is the recipe in the new Cliff Kingsbury offensive system because defenses have figured out his passing game. But Shimonik extends in the red zone and finds Batson for the touchdown. That was executed to perfection the first drive outside of the missed extra point, but Cliff's got to be happy with the way they started.
Well, looking at that, like, it's going to be a typo. Wait, they ran? It's got to be the other way around, right?
I think Mike Leach is looking at this saying, that's not an air raid.
15 plays. That's the longest scoring drive of the season, the 15 plays. They went 75 yards, took the opening kickoff from 6 minutes, 19 seconds off the clock. So Nick Shimonik's second opportunity with the football. Trey King led the way in that running game on that first drive. He's up to 46 yards for the game to this point. And he'll get his 10th carry of the game. Makes some people miss, spilling away. And King has first down yardage. What a start for Trey King tonight.
Now, why wouldn't you, instead of dropping back and passing, have to try to block Okoronkwo off the edge? Just run the football. You see Okoronkwo 31 there. He's taken down. Can't get in on the play.
Shimonik to throw, able to complete across the middle. It's Kiki Kuti. They're not going to catch him. Kiki Kuti for the score. What is going on here in Norman tonight? It's a 70-yard pass play for 6.
You can run the ball, Steve. The play action, the hard sting, you have to respect that. You see the linebacker, Murray, just waiting, a hesitation. The safety, Will Johnson, not in position on the angle, and QT makes him pay.
And now the big decision will be, with all the kicking walls, will they go for 2 at some point? They're going to give Michael Barden another opportunity. He missed the opening extra point. Give it another whack. And this one is through. Michael Barden. 2 play, 82 yards, 33 seconds. We've got 20 points so far in our first 8.5 minutes. So it's going to be that kind of Saturday night.
Nice view from our progressive pylon cam, but Mike Stoops probably doesn't like that view from the pylon cam.
Fuel. Broncos, Chiefs, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Back in Norman, Oklahoma. Wow, what a wild start to this one. 13-7 in favor of Texas Tech. I think the only thing these two teams have missed on so far is that one extra point.
Yeah.
And so Baker Mayfield will get his second opportunity with the football. Barden was so excited he kicked that last extra point. He wanted to give it a go. That'll have to wait. Let's see.
That's a tough way to win games when you don't have confidence in your kicker. I mean, that's hard on Cliff Kingsbury.
Takes their first time out of the half.
How about Texas Tech using a timeout before a kickoff out of a break? What do you got there, Coach?
I don't know. I've never seen that one. But I have seen this from Nick Shimonek. That running game has an effect on the linebackers. You see Emmanuel Beal, Kenneth Murray. They have to respect that fake. And then right behind him comes QT. And there's only one guy left. Will Johnson has to make the tackle. This is the play action sting when you can run the football. Now, that has not been the MO of the air raid. But Cliff Kingsbury, so far in this game, he's seeing the benefits of having the balance of run to pass, and QT was a beneficiary there.
Can we get a 40 time on that?
Quick. You see Mike Stoops.
He looks agitated.
Yeah, he's very fiery, and that'll be an interesting battle to watch. The offensive mind of Kingsbury against Stoops.
Hey, the kicking thing will be a story tonight for Texas Tech. We've documented some of it. Michael Barden is in replacing Clayton Hatfield. Texas Tech had an outstanding kicker. He's on the Groza Award watch, but had some hip issues coming into the season, re-injured the hip in the second game, and they've been trying to find a kicker to replace him ever since. Tuesday is Halloween. We've got nothing but treats for you on ESPN, and also we'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings at 7 p.m. Eastern. Reese and the guys will break it down from top to bottom, coach's reactions, as well as a live interview with the committee chair, Kirby Hocutt. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app.
Yeah, Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director at Texas Tech. Saw two of those guys on that graphic there, Kenny Hill and Saquon Barkley. Both those teams lost, so there's going to be a shakeup, certainly. Notre Dame, impressive, to say the least, against a good NC State team. You got to start to think about them creeping up into that top four.
I don't know how good Florida is, but how impressive is Georgia, too.
Florida's not good.
Right.
I think we know they're not good.
Blowing the doors off the Gators today in their rivalry game. Abdul Adams is the ball carrier. Not much doing there.
They're happy to have Abdul Adams back, back healthy. He got hurt in the Iowa State game, and he's been kind of nicked up. And they had Trey Sermon, Rodney Anderson. It was his game a week ago. Now they've got three backs, legitimate backs that Lincoln Riley can use in this backfield for the Sooners.
2nd and 9. Fake to Adams. Mayfield's already kept it long. This time he'll throw and complete on time to Marquise Brown. And he's brought down by DeMarcus Fields.
Tyler talked about the speed of QT for Texas Tech. Marquise Brown is the speed player for Oklahoma. Just a true sophomore, only 162 pounds, but he has a different level, a different jet than anybody else on this Sooner team. He's going to be getting more looks in this offense as the season goes along.
That was a good tackle by Fields. A solo tackle. Mayfield all sorts of time. Down the middle of the field, and it is knocked away. Looking to go for Brown. Joshawn Johnson had the coverage.
We mentioned those jets and the speed, and he gets down the field in a hurry. He beats Johnson off the ball, and he's about 5 yards behind him, but that ball was grossly underthrown from Baker Mayfield, who was experiencing a little bit of push. No, that just came out late and short.
I thought late was the right word. I thought he hesitated just a split second before he threw that ball. He'd gotten it out on time, probably would have been right on point.
Mayfield's shoulder has been an issue recently. On the ground to Abdul Adams. He's got first down yardage, cuts all the way across the field. And Adams will be knocked out. Knocked out by Justice Parker, but not until he ripped off 34.
Well, this offensive line starting to lean on folks up front. Orlando Brown, Ben Powers, pulling around the horn. This is their #1 run play, is that counter play, Steve. They did it against Texas, and they're starting to get their feeling on the ground in this game.
First down and 10 out at the 27. Again, it's Adams. He's got some more running room. Got the first down. He might get 6. Adams will be just dropped short of the goal line. Vontae Dorsey, a touchdown-saving tackle.
Boy, same play, just the other direction. This time they pulled the right guard and right tackle, Bobby Evans and Samaya. Great job and vision by Adams on the second level, and within 2 plays, same play, one way each way, they're already knocking on the doorstep.
First down and goal. Ball spotted at the 2.
This is Dimitri Flowers territory. He's got 6 touchdowns on the season, and he's lined up in the eye.
And they do hand it to Flowers, and he will crash in and stay on his feet. Dimitri Flowers for the touchdown.
Well, Dimitri Flowers has 28 touches on the year, Steve, and 7 of them are for touchdowns. He's 250 pounds. So when you see him hit a linebacker, you got to be your own blocker sometimes on the goal line. And he just runs right over Jashawn Johnson for the touchdown. What a great answer from Oklahoma. They give up 2 quick touchdowns, and they come back with 2 quick ones.
Penalty marker down. Bobby Evans, a personal foul. The right tackle. And they will mark it off on the kickoff. So the touchdown does stand, obviously. And Seibert is on to attempt the extra point. And he's got that one, too. 4.5 to play in the first quarter. We've had 4 offensive possessions, and we've got 4 touchdowns. We're actually ahead of last year's points pace.
You said you wanted to have what they're having.
Yeah, shattering records everywhere you look.
Hi.
In scholarship funds, and at this pace, they're going to contribute a few more million tonight.
Well, one of these defenses has to find a way to slow the offense down, right? I mean, you think about Mike Stoops in Oklahoma in last year's game. And I know it was against Patrick Mahomes, a different kind of quarterback than Shimonek, but 59 points, 734 yards passing. You got to start to wonder about the psyche of Oklahoma's defense and their confidence, giving up 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives of this game.
They could not have anticipated this. Kick is in the air. Cameron Batson off the short kick will return it. And he's able to get out past the 30-yard line. So some good scoring, good field position to start this next drive. Oklahoma's last 4 games have all been single-digit games. They're not blowing anyone out these days. September 23rd, they trailed by 3 at Baylor, able to win 49-41. October 7th against Iowa State here. Back then, we had no idea how good the Cyclones were. That loss doesn't look so bad anymore. October 14th in the Cotton Bowl, they trailed by 1, were able to win the game. Then last week, found themselves trailing at K-State 21-7 and roared back in the second half to win 42-35.
You see there the difference between that Ohio State game. This Oklahoma defense was stout, and the games in the Big 12. And listen, the Big 12 and the offenses we know, but you know, if you're going to win this conference, you got to play a little bit of defense, and Oklahoma needs to get better.
Shimonek to throw. It's batted down at the line of scrimmage. And let's see, that hit the ground or not. But Jack Anderson, the true freshman, highly recruited true freshman, got some good hands on him.
Yeah, Caleb Kelly, number 19, the linebacker, came off the edge. May have got a hand on that. DJ Ward may have gotten a hand on it, and Texas Tech was fortunate that wasn't intercepted.
Counts as a completion, so Shimonek's now 5 for 5. We'll take it. Here's Trey King as they go back to the ground game for 3. bring up third down. So Texas Tech, their third possession. On their first possession, they went 15 plays, resulting in a touchdown. On their second possession, they went 2 plays, resulting in a touchdown.
And this is important for Oklahoma to get in third and longer situations to bring Okonkwo into the equation. He's the best pass rusher in the Big 12. We haven't mentioned his name so far in this game because it's been predominantly on the ground.
They're only rushing 3. Shimonek able to check it down to Kiki Cutie for the first down yardage, and a flag flies at the end there. Looked like they got Will Johnson for the sideline foul.
Wow. Any movement out in that white area by a defender is going to get a flag. Any kind of movement.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 12 of the defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run, first down.
And you might just say, well, that's a continuation from Johnson. He's just trying to get him out of bounds, but you just got to know, in today's college football, you do anything, they're going to throw the flag.
Referee tonight, Brad Van Vark. That goes as a conversion. And then the tack on the 15. So Texas Tech 4 for 4 on third down conversions. The penalty yardage allows them to move into Oklahoma territory at the 42. In a fast-moving, high-scoring quarter number 1 from Norman. Shimonek to throw. Got a man there and a touchdown. Dylan Cantrell. And a perfect ball by Shimonek. It's another score. Good for 42 yards.
What a big-time throw from Nick Shimonek. The double move on the outside. Cantrell just going to come down, a little stutter and go. He gets Jordan Thomas looking into the backfield, and that is perfectly thrown. Great catch from Dylan Cantrell. And if there's any question whether the Red Raiders were going to come in and not throw their fastball in the first quarter, I think they've answered that.
Nick Shimonek is 7 for 7 for 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. If nothing else, Michael Bard's getting a lot of practice on extra points. Barden, who missed the first extra point, able to hit on the second and nails this one too.
Well, you know, Todd talked about Nick Shimonek coming into this game, right? You wait 4 years, 4.5 years to get your shot. You go from Iowa to a community college, and then you walk on at Texas Tech, and you sit behind Pat Mahomes, and now you come out in the first quarter of this game. But we've seen this before, right? We've seen this before with Iowa State coming in, not scared of Oklahoma.
Right.
And Kyle Kempt had a day.
You really wonder how good the Sooners are. You look at their schedule. We showed you how the last 4 games have all been close. And then you wonder about them. You want, hey, they got the 1 loss. They're ranked 10th in the country. I mean, Tuesday night's going to be so interesting. But you could not have seen this coming, this start to this game, Reese.
Well, it's the same kind of defense we saw last year.
There's no Pat Mahomes.
There's no Pat Mahomes, but Nick Shimonek's played well this year. It's a confident team, but here's the thing. Oklahoma's offense, outstanding. Their defense has been the question, and Mike Stoops and the confidence. We'll see where they go from here, what the adjustments they make. They've got the talent to play better. They just need to prove it on the field.
So we've seen 34 points go up on the scoreboard, 347 combined yards, 12 minutes off the clock. It's a pinball machine so far. And Barden will put it back in the air. Touchback. And Baker Mayfield will lead his squad out there again.
Yeah, we talked about coming in. This is an explosive offense. They've got the zone read. You don't have to block defensive tackles. Just let Baker Mayfield make plays. The ball handling, Steve, is what I really appreciate about Baker Mayfield. He spends time on it. He understands the value of it, how it affects defenses, and he gets a big naked completion there to Marquise Brown. But that ball handling is a lost art. You don't see a whole lot of quarterbacks and quarterback coaches coaching the fundamentals and the detail of that, and I really like that Lincoln Riley and Baker Mayfield take that seriously. That's going to help him when he goes to the next level.
Want to talk about that now?
It's going to be a part.
Get into that?
What he needs to show he can do.
Playing on Sundays? Should he win the Heisman Trophy first? That's a possibility. On 1st down and 10, here's Marcelius Sutton. And a good game for him, stopped by Douglas Coleman. We keep going back to last year's game, and how could we not? The 66-59 game from a year ago that broke all sorts of FBS records. The first quarter in that game a year ago was merely 13-10. So we are well ahead of that pace at 20-14 with 2 minutes left in this first quarter.
You should have known better. You should have had your touchdown call ready to roll in this game.
Put it on tape. Just keep hitting the button. 2nd and short. Anderson and Sutton in there. That's Badette in motion. And they give it to Anderson. Right through the middle for 1st down yardage and then something. This is that game from a year ago. Did you see the combined total yards? 1,708. The amazing thing is they had the exact same yardage. They split it down the middle exactly. You can't make that up. 8:54 and 8:54 exactly. Here's Anderson. I was told there'd be no man.
I thought it was cool. Pat Mahomes, you know, played in that game, calls Nick Shimonek pretty much every day. They talked yesterday. They're the best of friends, and Pat called Nick right before we met with Shimonek, and you could tell it means something to him, right? And he had so much respect for Mahomes. Now with the Kansas City Chiefs, 1st-round draft pick, they'll be playing on Monday night.
Yep.
I told him you don't need to be Pat Mahomes in this game to win. You know, just be yourself. You don't put too much pressure on the kid.
2nd and 1. Mayfield, little pump. Don't see him run it so far one time today. There's Mark Andrews for the easy 1st down.
I think that's one of the more impressive things that Baker does. The ability to move inside the pocket and find open windows. He's not the tallest quarterback. You know, Drew Brees is probably the best I've seen at it as a 6-foot quarterback behind 6'5", 6'6" offensive linemen. To be able to find those passing windows, really impressive.
And he keeps his eyes downfield too, Todd. That's, you know, some of these guys, when they start running around, they have the speed that Baker does. They'll just take off, but he's pretty disciplined with his eyes.
It's Anderson again. That could very well be the last play of this first quarter.
You know, in talking with Lincoln Riley yesterday, he felt like Baker Mayfield one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football, and I don't argue that one bit. I mean, that's something that jumps off the tape, and I think one of the most, if not the most important part of playing the quarterback position.
Hard to bring him down, too. Sack, they'll get the play off. Sure, why not? Little bonus play. And Mayfield is dropped for a loss by Justice Parker. Wouldn't you know, that's how the first quarter comes to an end. A 5-touchdown first quarter. Why wouldn't it be? 20-14. Texas Tech on top. ESPN's presentation. College football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. All eyes will be on that show on Tuesday night for sure. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, welcome you back. Quarter number 2 here in Norman. A 5-touchdown first quarter. Texas Tech leads 20-14 as we open up the second. A 3rd down and 8 for Oklahoma. Mayfield's got some pressure. And he's hit as he throws. Justice Parker got to him. And to bring up a 4th down.
This is your decision. You got to make a decision if you're going to let Baker Mayfield sit back here and throw the ball. If you're going to blitz, you're going to have one-on-one with Andrews. Watch as they're trying to run a double move, and there's not enough time. Andrews came open late, but there's not enough time for Mayfield to sit back there and throw.
4th down and 8. In this part of the field, they'll go for it.
Good call. Yeah, I don't think I would do this right here. I'd pump this football down the way. Sure, our defense has been exposed a little bit. Give him a big field.
Here's Mayfield. Across the middle. It's going to pay off for the 1st down to Mark Andrews. Well, that looked easy.
Yeah, Jordan Brooks, the linebacker, fell down in coverage. You know, he had Mark Andrews one-on-one, and Andrews is so big at 254 pounds that if you try to engage him, he's going to knock you over, and that's exactly what happened to Brooks.
Gain of 18. Andrews is the team's leading receiver coming into this game. He had the game-winning touchdown catch in the Red River shootout game against Texas. Inside handoff to Anderson. He's into the secondary. He's inside the 5 as well. First and goal upcoming.
Again, the counter play. I mean, that's the only run they've really had. They've had the zone read with Baker Mayfield, and then the counter. And Lincoln Riley knows he's got the advantage of his offensive line against this Texas Tech defensive line, and you're going to get a heavy dose of all 3 of these backs: Anderson, Adams, and Sutton.
That last play was good for 12. So it's first and goal from inside the 4. That's Brown in motion. Mayfield looking that way, and he's got him. Marquise Brown for the touchdown. And we're tied at 20s.
You got a speed guy like Marquise Brown. You want to get him out in the flat, just a little return motion, trying to confuse the man-to-man coverage on the back end. And then when you snap the ball, he goes to that flat as fast as he can, and it's an easy touchdown throw for Mayfield.
Austin cybered on to attempt the extra point. Right down Broadway. Oklahoma, their 3rd touchdown drive. They've gone 76, 75, and 75 yards.
Well, they hold serve here, and you see this speed from Marquise Brown. There is no way that DeMarcus Fields can keep up with him in the flat, and good accurate throw from Mayfield, and Oklahoma answers again, 3rd time in a row.
Again, so much of a shakeup. I mean, seemingly every Saturday in college football. With Tuesday and the first college football playoff rankings to be released, the committee will get together, and here's what the guys think. This is after this afternoon's action.
Yeah, this is
heading into tonight.
A little couple hours ago, actually.
Up to the 2nd.
Yeah. So Todd's got Clemson in there. I think Georgia. There's no reason not to have them in there. Notre Dame, in my mind, that was the most impressive win of the day. And Wisconsin undefeated. I know we're gonna figure that out in the Big Ten between them and maybe Ohio State.
Grace, I was listening to you as you gave our producer the picks, and you said the same exact thing. You said, all right, Alabama 1, Georgia 2. Ooh. It gets tough, man. There's so much shakeup today. I think Notre Dame, Clemson, but Ohio State now with that win coming back, make a strong argument for them. It's going to be a wild month.
This is the final Saturday in October. Cameron Batson thought about it. We'll act on it. Send it back to the studio, Cassidy.
Thanks, Steve. AT&T Field Pass number 13, Virginia Tech hosting Duke, and Josh Jackson finds Sean Savoy. Hokies up 17-3, looking to start 7-1 for the first time since 2011. Steve, Brian, Todd, back to you.
Cassidy, thank you.
That's setting up a big one next week. Virginia Tech and Miami, right? Miami squeaked out. They didn't look very good against North Carolina today, but that's a big game in the ACC next week.
Listen, I can't get away from these statistical numbers from last year. So we mentioned 854 yards each, right, from last year. Wouldn't you know, tonight, the 2 schools each have 211 yards. Exactly two. You can't make this stuff up. The only difference in the scoreboard is a missed extra point. Back to Trey King. This is how the night started. Get back to the line of scrimmage. Bledsoe made the stop.
Well, if I'm Mike Stoops here, defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, I'm going to focus a little bit more on the run game. I needed to see it to believe it, that Texas Tech could run the ball, but now they've come out and run it, and you see Mike Stoops has made an adjustment. He's got 4 defensive linemen on the field instead of 3.
Shimonik set up the screen to King out of the backfield, and he's got first down yardage. Kenneth Murray made the stop.
Great play call here. The screen, Mike Stoops telling us he expects 8 or 9 of these screen type plays from Oklahoma State. He's entertaining just watching up in the booth. Very animated. Got a tight shirt on there, man, too.
boy's medium. Shimonek to throw left. And complete. Able to hook up with Cantrell. We're going to say no catch.
They called that incomplete.
Yep, that'll be the first incompletion for Shimonek tonight.
See now there's 4 defensive linemen out there. What that does is that gives you a little bit more leverage on the edge. Guys can set the edge better in the run game and then rush the passer with Okoronkwo off the edge.
Five to snap it. All sorts of time for Shimonek down the left sideline. And it is caught, but also that looked like out of bounds. Cantrell again. Jordan Thomas on the coverage.
Cantrell has made 2 really nice catches the last 2 plays. The problem is he's been out of bounds, but look at this. It's not easy to make that catch in traffic, but credit Jordan Thomas, who was beat on the last touchdown with good coverage on Cantrell.
3rd down and 10.
Well, this crowd needs to get into this game and help the pass rush for Oklahoma.
Parnell Motley's doing jumping jacks. Get the crowd going. Shimonek in all sorts of trouble. And he is taken down. It is Obo Okoronkwo on the sack. You've been waiting for him to make the signature play, and there it is.
Yep. You combine 3rd down and 10, obvious passing situations with some noise, and there's no way Travis Bruffy, the left tackle, can get off the ball with the kind of speed that Okoronkwo can bring. The #1 pass rusher in the Big 12. He's going to get home.
And we've played nearly 18 minutes of football. After 6 touchdowns, here's our first punt of the night, or at least they're in punt formation anyway. And Dominic Panzanolo able to get the punt, and it's a good roll for Texas Tech. Oklahoma with the lead and the football. We come back.
What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, presented by Allstate.
Welcome back to Norman. This offense for Oklahoma has gotten its going on the ground with this counter play. They use it against Texas to perfection. Tonight they have used it. It's been Adams, it's been Rodney Anderson. They've run it both ways. Bobby Evans, the right tackle, excellent in pulling, getting up on the 2nd level. Texas Tech has to figure this play out, Steve, if they're going to begin to slow this Oklahoma offense down.
And on 1st down and 10, little trickeration. All the way to Jeff Badette. He's got plenty of running room. Badette's across the 40-yard line. Desmond Smith finally twirled him down. So some fancy play calling by the Sooners.
You start to use the talent that Oklahoma had. They lost so much talent at these skill positions on offense. The speed of Badette, the speed we've seen from Marquise Brown. These guys just need to play more. They just need more experience. They haven't been as consistent, obviously, as a D.D. Westbrook and those types, but each game they play, they get a little bit more confidence.
That goes for 24 yards. Here's Abdul Adams. They went wildcat to Abdul Adams, and he carried the football. This was moments ago. Nick Shimonek, they had to clean off his jersey. We thought it might have been paint from the end zone, but as it turns out, Obo Okoronkwo bangs his pinky finger on the helmet, and he was leaking oil from the pinky.
For Halloween, you know?
That's scary.
Dressing up this year?
Not this year. Not next year either. Here's Mayfield, plenty of time, and just airmailed Adams there. Had him open.
That's a really nice job by Colin Hill as a defensive end, outside linebacker type. They tried to fool him with hard play action, and he was responsible for running down the field with Adams. Not an easy job for a big defensive end to be running down the field at 250 pounds.
We've got blood, we've got costumes, we've got touchdowns. We've got it all here so far, and we haven't even hit halftime. Makes for an interesting night. 3rd down and 7. upcoming. Mayfield fakes to the right. Under some pressure. He's run once already tonight. And trying to dump it off. There's a penalty marker down.
They're going to get him for illegal men downfield. That was a screen play, and you can't throw the ball away late on a screen because the offensive line are already down the field.
CeeDee Lamb, the receiver, was making as if he was held by one of the defensive players. There are 2 flags down. We'll check them.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense number 58. That penalty's decline brings up 4th down.
So a nice stop for Texas Tech. And Oklahoma's defense gets a stop, and Texas Tech comes out as well played on the screen. Here's Eric Wren. And again, this is not his fault. He's thinking this ball is going to come out fast right there on the slip screen underneath to CeeDee Lamb. But now he's downfield, and once you get past that 3-yard area, as soon as Baker Mayfield throws that ball, it's going to be a penalty.
Second punt of the night. Here's Austin Seibert. And he'll boot it in the air from his own 35. Cameron Batson. He'll take a shot, 1 out from the 5. Here's Batson down the sideline. And he'll be bumped out. And a flag comes in late. See if that's the block in the back. It's a 49-yard punt.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 7 of the kicking team, 15 yards added to the end of the run, 1st down, media timeout.
Jordan Thomas got called for the face mask. So we come back. Texas Tech. Excellent field position. There's the face mask.
It would be great if human beings were great at being.
Bob Stoops got this office for 2 weeks before he left. Hey, Lincoln Riley, looks like you're doing just fine. 1,800 square feet. McShay, pretty sweet digs.
Yeah, pretty sweet. I asked him how many square feet because I knew the answer was going to be one I didn't want to hear. My apartment in the city with 2 kids and a dog is 1,800 square feet.
And his is rent-free, I imagine.
And his, I know Riley's a lot cleaner than McShay's. So nothing out of place in there.
I need his cleaning service.
Kiki QT on the opportunity there. And here's Shimonek to throw. Off the fingertips. Knocked away.
Well, that's the first missed throw for Nick Shimonek in this game so far. He's been red hot with 3 touchdowns. But when you come on the road, you're playing an explosive team like Oklahoma. You got to make every play that's there for you to make. And that one just sailed a little bit high to a wide open receiver.
He knows it. Showed you his reaction. The bright lights don't seem too big for him.
You know what? I was worried about that, talking with him yesterday. You know, he's put so much pressure on himself. And I like that part of it, but you still got to play loose. And so he's got a great mix of playing loose, but still, it means something to him.
And up Trey King, right up the middle. Got half of it, bring up a 3rd down. Shimonek is from a small town. When I say small, not McShay apartment small, but population 300, Mildred, Iowa. His graduating class in high school had a total of 52 people in it. And that includes him. Here's 3rd and 5 for Nick. Already 4 or 5 on 3rd down conversions. At midfield. Trying to get out of there. And just gets across to the original line of scrimmage. Stephen Parker came up and played it perfectly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like they were trying to throw a screen there to the outside, nothing there. And then it was Shimonek just trying to make a play. And I think Cliff Kingsbury has made a decision coming into this game, before the game, that he's going to be very aggressive going for it on 4th down anywhere in plus territory.
So here we go. At the 48 of Oklahoma. 4th and 5.
Oklahoma's very clearly playing coverage. They're not going to pressure here. So if you're Shimonek, you got to put that in your clock in your mind that I can hold the ball a little bit longer.
Keep an eye on these big receivers on the outside.
Just got it away, too, with one on the play clock. Oh, down the sideline, it's intercepted. What a leaping interception by Caleb Kelly. Used all of his 6'3" frame to haul it in.
Well, Mike Stoops decides to change it up. He does bring pressure off the corner. He got me, and he got Shimonek. You come a blitz off the corner, you see Jordan Thomas, and Caleb Kelly is responsible for that receiver in the flat. Shimonek never saw him, and he was fortunate that Kelly didn't keep his feet, because if he had, he would have been in the end zone.
That's the first turnover of the game. So the first 6 possessions, we had touchdowns, all 6. Then a couple of punts, and now the pick.
And we talked about which defense was going to make the adjustment, right? They got 2 punts back-to-back, and now the turnover in Oklahoma hasn't been great turning the football over. It's been Texas Tech's MO, but they get the first one of the game.
On first down and 10. Mayfield holds it, and he'll throw it. Finds a wide-open Mark Andrews. How does the big man get that wide open? And he fumbles the football out of bounds. And a break there for Oklahoma. Jordan Brooks tried to punch that free and knocked it out of bounds.
Boy, it's hard to get more open than Mark Andrews did right here. A lot of room for him to work in the secondary, and he's fortunate that that ball went out of bounds. It's interesting talking about Andrews, 254 pounds, but he rarely lines up next to an offensive tackle in a traditional tight end set. He's always out wide.
Mayfield out to the right to Marcelius Sutton. You heard that hit from up here. Jordan Brooks laid the lumber to him.
I asked Lincoln Riley why that was, that Andrews at that size never, lined up next to the offensive tackle. He said, well, he came to us more as a receiver than a blocker, and that's what he does really well. He's getting better as a blocker, but he's so valuable to us spread out.
To try to evaluate him, I've had to ask scouts who go to practice and watch him in practice block, because you don't see much of it on tape.
He's going to do that. Need to do that, right, Todd, at the next level to be a starting tight end.
No question. They said he's competitive and tough and keeps getting better.
2nd and 7. Mayfield on the line to CeeDee Lamb. Making some moves inside the 10, down to the 5. Dakota Allen brought him down. Here come the Sooners.
So much cushion on the outside, and Baker Mayfield sees the field better than many quarterbacks in college football. If you give him something on the outside, he's going to take it.
That's good for 30 yards there. Baker Mayfield has already extended his streak of games with at least 2 touchdown passes to 21 games. That's the longest in Big 12 history. Could add to that right here on first down and goal. On the ground. Rodney Anderson, touchdown. Sooners make them pay for the turnover.
It's the counter play again, Steve, and it's the left guard, the left tackle, and then Flowers. Watch these 3 blocks. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. There's Flowers. There's Orlando Brown, and Anderson walks into the end zone.
Seibert will boot it through. It all started with the first turnover of the game. The interception. And then Mayfield able to move his squad down the field. Ending in Rodney Anderson. Touchdown. College football playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. I mean, if you can't be passionate about what we've seen here tonight, you better check yourself. Wow, what a start, what a game. 28-20. With 7 minutes to play in the first half. Why not? Take a look now at our Wells Fargo innovations of better. How about the weight room in the new Switzer Center? We've got a 70-yard turf field. It's the only facility in college football that uses NFL Combine technology. to assess the athlete's physical attributes. That's Jordan Smallwood, the wide receiver. See that red dot there on his hand? Under the field, they've got 2,000 pounds of force plates. Not only measure the speed of the player, but the force that player runs with. Wow. You did not have this in Ann Arbor when you were playing, I don't recall.
I'm actually kind of glad we didn't have that stuff. The less they knew about my athleticism, the better off I was.
Gotcha. Moving on. Yep. Hey, technology. It's everywhere. Get on board. Here's Nick Shimonek coming out after that interception and comes out firing and completing the T.J. Vasher, his first reception of the night.
Well, as this game settles in and Nick Shimonek settles in, this is going to be a big drive. You know that Oklahoma has taken momentum with the interception. It needs to do something positive here.
He's going to throw again and complete again to Vasher. He's across midfield and he's taking some people on.
And I like that Cliff Kingsbury, Nick Shimonek are attacking the perimeter of this Oklahoma defense. When Mike Stoops made the adjustment to 4 defensive linemen, he told them they could get on the perimeter.
Shimonek to throw again. Middle of the field. And nearly intercepted. Parnell Motley had a better chance to catch that one than T.J. Vasher did.
T.J. Vasher is 6'6", 190 pounds. And when they throw the ball deep, that's who they want to get it to. He made a big play in the West Virginia game. And this ball is just thrown a little bit too far. If you're going to err on the side of being short to Vasher and let him go back up and make a play.
Yeah, he ripped off 60 on a screen on the first series. He's got a big playability. 2nd and 10. Five to snap it. I think they want to get a timeout. Let's see. Don't get it. Quick screen out to Davion High for the short completion.
There's a little cat and mouse game going on right now between Cliff Kingsbury and Mike Stoops. Kingsbury saw the blitz coming and Shimonek kind of held it. And then they call a quick screen thinking that they could beat the blitz. But Mike Stoops audibles into a cover 2 look and it's a short gain.
3rd and 6. Scoreboard urges the home crowd to get loud. 114th consecutive sellout here in Norman.
And again, this is 4-down territory in Cliff Kingsbury's mind.
Shimonek underneath. Trey King had it and then lost it. They'll call it an incomplete pass on the field. Stephen Parker put the hit.
Nice job by Stephen Parker. The play in Oklahoma is with a lot of 3 safeties on the field. Parker, Johnson, and Khalil Houghton. It's just man-to-man, and that's a good call of an incomplete pass. And here we go on 4th down.
4th down and 6. Last time in this situation is when Shimonek got picked off by Caleb Kelly. That led to the touchdown. And now the timeout is called. Oklahoma will take one on defense.
Oklahoma calls their first timeout of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in duration.
Well, big play coming up for Nick Shimonek in this offense. They've got a little bit of rhythm so far, Steve, in this game. 3 touchdown passes already in the first half for Shimonek. 1, the extended plays. Found Batson in the back of the end zone for the first touchdown. Followed that one up with a quick hitter to QT, and he did the rest. And then a beautiful throw on the outside of Cantrell on a double move. And you get Nick Shimonek, who's kind of a streaky player, that kind of momentum, and you see how he can hurt you.
See how well he started. And ever since that hot 8-for-8 start, just 4 for 10, and the interception.
Much different than a week ago against Iowa State. Iowa State made Texas Tech go down the field with short passes. They only scored 13 points, and it really frustrated Shimonek and Kingsbury. And Mike Stoops has given him a little bit more opportunities to throw the ball down the field, and it's hurt Oklahoma's defense so far.
So out of the timeout, let's see what Cliff Kingsbury's going to do on 4th down and 6. King, the running back in motion, top of your screen.
Noyes got to the left tackle, Bruffy. They're going to call him for offsides.
Ball start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That might have been the most blatant false start I've ever seen.
Well, let me put you down there and all that noise and put Okoronkwo over top of you. It's hard to look at the football when you got that kind of speed off the edge, and this is going to force the hand of Kingsbury to punt.
They are set back to punt now. Dominic Panazzolo will his second punt of the night. Panazzolo, I beg your pardon. Gets it in the air. Fair catch is called at the 9. Well, the moving up the chart, I mean, there's so many categories that Baker Mayfield is moving up the chart. And tonight, he said goodbye to Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, that must feel... You think he knew that?
I think he knew it.
Guarantee you he knew it.
Look out, Chase Daniel, you're next.
That the way this is going, that'll go down tonight. And then he's going after Texas and Colt McCoy. But, you know, it's been an unbelievable career for Baker Mayfield. And probably the most impressive thing in my eyes is the back-to-back top 4 finishes in the Heisman. And he's right there again with Saquon Barkley. And it's got to be in New York at the end of this season again.
But it all started for him in Texas Tech. Was the first true freshman walk-on to start the opener and in the FBS era. And it's Mayfield for a yard. That was back in 2013. Mayfield was in Lubbock. Got off to a pretty good start there. Started the first 5 games. They went 5-0 to start.
Yep. And he was splitting time with Davis Webb, and that was the quarterback competition. They also had Michael Brewer on that team. People forget he ended up going to Virginia Tech, but you see through the season, it's just a model of consistency. I think he's gotten better each season, and he's been the perfect match with Lincoln Riley here in Norman.
Second down and 8. Mayfield to throw. Oh, had a man wide open. Had Rodney Anderson wide open. He could have run forever, and Mayfield knows it.
Sometimes these routes with a back coming out of the backfield and a back, Steve, that hasn't had a lot of reps because Anderson has not been the main guy. It's been Trey Sermon, Abdul Adams, and I think Baker Mayfield just didn't have enough reps to judge the speed and overthrew him.
Sometimes when they're that open, it surprises you.
That too. We're not used to seeing Baker miss with his accuracy. Wide open guys.
3 to snap it. He sees it too. And Oklahoma, in a short span, will spend their second timeout. 5:16 to go. Rather high scoring first half. Sooners lead 28-20.
So, Verizon and
Live on the ESPN app, as will be Monday Night Football. The Broncos and the Chiefs.
Love that one.
Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. Also available in Spanish on ESPN2.
The return of Jamal Charles to Arrowhead.
Yeah. What's up with the Broncos? What's going on there?
Great. Give it some time.
Chiefs stumbling all of a
Just
sudden.
need a rivalry game to get back into.
3rd down and 8 as we welcome you back. Here's Mayfield to throw. Across the middle, too high, nearly intercepted over the head of Mark Andrews, and Deshaun Johnson nearly came up with the pick and would bring up a 4th down in a punting situation.
Yeah, 2 uncharacteristic misses there. Back-to-back plays from Baker Mayfield. The swing pass to Rodney Anderson, and then that time a little high to Mark Andrews. And they're going to give Texas Tech an opportunity here before half to maybe tie this game up.
First 3 and out for either team. That's the kind of offensive game we have had here tonight. Austin Seibert, back in his own end zone. And he'll get it away. Cameron Batson will let it bounce. And so Texas Tech will indeed start with excellent field position on the Oklahoma side of the ball. It's a 41-yard punt. Here's what Texas Tech coming in. Again, start of the season 3-0. We're out 4-1 start. Had a big lead in the 3rd quarter at West Virginia, and then it sort of disappeared from there.
Yeah, 2-touchdown lead in that game, and that game kind of beat them twice. They were talking with them, and their offensive coordinator, Eric Morris, he felt like they came out flat last week against Iowa State, because of that deflating loss at West Virginia, but they have come out on point offensively anyway in this game.
Trailing by 8 and starting on the Oklahoma side of the field. Shimonek, a handoff to Trey King. See where they mark those forward progress, but Obo Okoronkwo would have him push back all the way to the 30 if he could. And he'll sound the horn. They give him 1 yard on that play.
This is personal for Oklahoma defensively. A lot of these players were a part of that 66-59 game a year ago, and everybody's been telling them about it. I'm not surprised it's getting a little chippy here.
2nd and 9. King's the bottom of the screen. Shimonek looks to him and throws right away. Got a yard, but got really nailed by Marquez Overton.
Take a look at this real speed with some sound. Oof. That'll make you think twice about catching a slip screen coming in there. Overton only goes 300 pounds.
Only. Lost the mouthpiece. Surprised he didn't lose any more. 3rd and 7.
Previous play is under further review.
Gonna look at the target.
I wonder if that ball came out. So we got Trey King with the ball there. Keep an eye on the ball. That ball is safe there. And
crown of the helmet.
Looking at this crown of the helmet.
Launch.
Oh, that's tough. That's a defensive lineman coming to make a play. There's a debate whether that's a defenseless player. Number one, he's actually making a move there. He gets hit, and I wouldn't qualify that as a defenseless player. So it takes that out of the equation. That's a good, solid football hit.
And Brad Van Vark is our referee. The targeting rule. We gave you all the key words. There's the launch. Checking for the crown of the helmet. That's where the contact was. Any forcible hit by the crown of the helmet.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. Third down.
When you're looking at the crown of the helmet, the defenseless opponent comes out of the equation. So either way,
that's a good hit. There's not a whole lot of difference between the face mask and the crown. I mean, there's only about 2 inches worth of difference there, and at real speed with a 300-pound guy coming to try to tackle a receiver. That was well done by Overton, and well done by those officials.
Yes, got it right. 3rd and 7. Crowd will try to get juiced up again. After the big hit by one of their own. Hand off to King. Won't get back to the line of scrimmage. He's swung around by Emmanuel Beal, the leading tackler for the Sooners.
It's a nice job by Beal. You know, they've given up some yards on the ground, and Beal plays off the block. There he is right here. He's going to get hit by the guard, but just plays to the outside, expecting the bounce. Stacks up King, forced the punt.
All of a sudden, we have consecutive 3 and outs. Panazzolo to punt it away. See if the side of the foot, or is he angling it out? Bounces at the 20. And it'll be spotted at the 16.
Where's the offense gone?
Yes. We've run out of points. We started with 6 touchdowns on the first 6 possessions of the game. The first half last season, we keep going back to the record-setting game between these two from a year ago. And there you can see.
Last year, things didn't ramp up until the second half, evidently.
Clearly. And so Baker Mayfield will get back on the field. Again, his relationship with Texas Tech. We asked him about it. Hey, you know, about this game, about your relationship with Texas Tech, with Lubbock. And he said, look, I'd love to tell you it's just another game. So I respect him for the honesty. He said, but I need to treat them like they're any other opponent. And he did play against them in that game last year.
Yep.
On 1st down and 10, quick throw to Lamb. He's got yardage and would have had a bunch more if not for an outstanding tackle by Douglas Coleman. And players come together.
This game's getting chippy. They remember a year ago, and I think, you know, Baker Mayfield sets the tempo for the entire Oklahoma team and sets the edge and the chip on the shoulder. And so everybody on this team knows what this game means to him, and they're going to play that way.
Off the play fake. Mayfield to throw has all sorts of time, and now he'll be dropped. He'll be taken down for the sack. It's Eli Howard. His 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, this pressure. Nowhere to go down the field. They're trying to get the ball down the field to Smallwood. They double covered him, and you give it that much time to that defensive front, they're going to get in the backfield.
Hey, and just to put the Mayfield story to rest. So Mayfield wanted to transfer. Texas Tech wouldn't allow him to transfer in conference. He was a walk-on.
Yep.
Didn't promise him a scholarship or anything along those lines. And that's where things got murky and rather ugly. Here's Abdul Adams.
Well, I think, you know, we asked Cliff Kingsbury, you know, you asked him if he had something to do different, would he do anything different with the way that went down? And he said, you know what, absolutely. You know, I would have let him go. That's what he would have done, which I thought was big of Cliff Kingsbury to make that comment.
And they said in the end they did do the right thing because they did sign off on it, but they didn't have to go through what they went through, all the negative attention, and it still feels rather uneasy when you talk to both sides about it. In the end, they got it. And you asked, I thought, the money question. What Texas Tech was trying to avoid was this game here.
Yep. Well, because you didn't want to give them that extra year.
The extra game, right.
This is the extra year, and this is that game. So it's all coming back to roost.
And Baker is well aware of that. So, but you know, college football, we run into this all the time, and now it's headed in a much better direction, especially with a walk-on player. What are your feelings? Should players be able to? All players should be able to transfer at any time.
Listen, walk-ons, please. They should be able to do whatever they want. They can't even eat with the team. You know, I mean, come on.
Paying for their books.
Yeah, coming from an old walk-on myself, he should have been able to do whatever he wanted.
And these multi-million-dollar head coaches, well, they leave whenever they want to leave.
But it's been a great story, and I think Baker is who he is because of some of these slights, right? So he's taken every bit of motivation and made himself the best player he could be.
Here's 3rd and 8. Mayfield to throw and complete. Able to hit Lamb, but he's short. Minute 23 left in the half. Brings up 4th down. It was a great tackle to prevent Lamb from getting the 1st down. Octavius Morgan able to make the play.
Yeah, that was a big-time play by Morgan because you force a decision for Oklahoma, right? 4th and 1 here. And Cliff Kingsbury is going to take a timeout and try to preserve a little bit of time before halftime. Octavius Morgan's a JUCO transfer. This defense for Texas Tech had 10 junior college transfers. 5 of them are big-time players. That's not a recipe for success on a yearly basis, but it was kind of a desperation issue for David Gibbs and Cliff Kingsbury. And so Morgan and Lane and Vontae Dorsey, Dakota Allen, one of their best players at the linebacker position. All those guys came in here for the first year.
And this is a defense that said they needed to get a turnover or 2 to be in this game, to win this game. And they're in it, very much in it, and they haven't gotten the turnover yet.
Yeah, they've got 16 on the year, and that leads the Big 12, and 3 of those turnovers have been touchdowns. So they have certainly focused on taking the football away, and it's going to be a big part of if they end up pulling this upset. probably could use another.
So it's 4th down and 1. Out of the punt formation. And another timeout. Oklahoma will use their last.
Oklahoma takes their 3rd and final timeout of the half. It'll be 60 seconds in duration.
Well, I really enjoyed our conversation on the flip side with Lincoln Riley yesterday. He's, it's kind of interesting, how fast, people forget how fast the decision of Bob Stoops to retire. Lincoln Riley becomes the coach in this offseason. They lose a lot of talent on the offensive side, but they got one of the best playmakers in college football coming back. But, I asked him last week, how big was that game at Kansas State in Manhattan? A tough place to play. They didn't play well in the first half. They're down 21-7. And Lincoln Riley did something he hasn't done yet as a head coach. He came in the locker room and he laid into his team. And they came out in the second half. That was a huge win and I think a turning point in the season for Oklahoma.
Some of the players said they felt every word that Riley said reverberating through their bodies. He tore some paint off in that halftime locker room. So the punt is a good one for Oklahoma. It'll be down at the 20-yard line. It's a 42-yard punt.
There's Obo, one of the best pass rushers in all of college football. You have to account for him. 3rd and 10, good luck. I mean, that's in this environment with that noise. Question is, in the run game, can he continue to play well enough, stout enough? And the answer has been yes so far. He wasn't at practice on Thursday. He was dealing with an injury or something. I was at practice and he wasn't there, but he's kind of made that 180 flip. We were talking with Mike Stoops, and he said, the first couple of years he was my troublemaker, and he's made that flip now that there's no more Eric Stryker. He's kind of taken that leadership role and run with it.
See his right hand. He hurt his thumb on the first drive a week ago. He banged his pinky, we showed you earlier. Got some of the blood on Shimonek's jersey. So watch for that right hand. Minute 12 left in the half. No timeouts for either team. Trey King will put it on the ground. That's the first down. And maybe if you were going conservative after that on first down, maybe try to make something out of this. It's King again. And can't stop the clock. And field goals have been an issue. So,
yep. You got to go fast here.
We have not had a field goal attempt in the game. This 2nd and 7. Shimonek will put it up. And it is nearly intercepted. Stephen Parker, who's been all over for Oklahoma tonight, nearly came up with that one.
That's a Shimonek dodging a bullet there. I was just going to say, you got to be aggressive, but you got to be smart too, because the likelihood of you getting a field goal is very slim. But if you turn the football over, you could very easily get points. And he's lucky Parker didn't come down with it.
3rd and 7. 42 to play in the half. It's an incomplete pass along the sideline. Try to hook up a T.J. Vasher.
Yeah, and if I was Cliff Kingsbury there, knowing that my quarterback had just escaped an interception, I would have run the football and taken this to halftime and avoid a punt situation.
Texas Tech now 0 for their last 5 on the 3rd down conversions. And on 4th down, they'll look to punt it away. Panizzalo is standing at his 22. Gets it away. And the fair catch is called for. Take a look at tonight's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation.
Movement.
Yes.
Movement right before Halloween in the college football playoff committee.
As always, subject to change. I mean, it's crazy. You know, we say it every Saturday. It's crazy every Saturday.
The dark colors at the top didn't fare well. Penn State and TCU, but the dark color at the bottom, Notre Dame. That's the one that to me was the most impressive win of the day. Ohio State's win was impressive, but a little bit closer. But a dominating performance, back-to-back dominating performances over SC and now NC State for Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame is going to be the team that everybody hates, right? Because you're going to really hurt another conference if Notre Dame gets into the playoffs. You got an awful lot of people rooting against Notre Dame, and that's always seems to be the case, much like the Yankees. But then Notre Dame's going to really hurt some other conference if they keep this up.
Well, the way Pac-12's playing, they don't look like they deserve to be in, so they really don't have a whole lot to talk about, although Washington got a win over UCLA. But certainly, if Notre Dame's in the picture, and if they win out, it'd be hard to think that they wouldn't be in the picture 11-1. It's going to be 2 of the Power 5 conferences left out.
And that should do it. And it was quite the half. Let's say we started at a 5-touchdown first quarter. First 6 possessions, all touchdowns. 28-20, Oklahoma. We'll send you to the studio for the halftime report after these messages.
You need more light, but installation is expensive and small stick-up lights just don't get it done. Why?
Until finally a punt settled things down. Some of the eye-popping numbers from half number 1.
Yeah, and I think the turnover obviously led to the difference in the game, the touchdown off of that. But you know, 3 touchdowns by Nick Shimonek through the air was impressive in the first half, too, for Texas Tech.
No question. Steve Lee with Brian Greasy. Todd McShay will join us shortly from the field. First 6 possessions of the game resulted in touchdowns. And I can't help but think that missed extra point could come back to haunt Texas Tech. We'll see. But the offense slowed down at least in that second quarter. More adjustments expected to be made.
I think that both defenses made adjustments. You know, David Gibbs, Mike Stoops made adjustments on the defensive side. I think Oklahoma really has the opportunity in the second half of this game, I think, to take control with their run game. They had 173 yards on the ground, a lot of it with that counterplay. If I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm going to lean on my offensive line, run the football, and take some pressure off my defense.
And the Sooners will get the ball first to open up quarter number 3. Down on the field, the aforementioned Todd McShay.
Cliff Kingsbury, I thought, was winning the early chess match, if you will, but Mike Stoops made some really good adjustments. Here you're going to see what they were doing early in the game, a lot of 3-man rushes. But part of the adjustments, show different looks, get some pressure. You see, coming off the edge, the cornerback Jordan Thomas, and then the linebacker Caleb Kelly replaces him in the flat, unexpected, and you see the interception. So Stoops really impressive after that first quarter, making his adjustments.
Yeah, Todd, he's going to need to continue to do it. He's mixing that 4 down front and the 3 down front, and he knows he's got to get Okoronkwo going, rushing the passer. But there's been too many lanes downfield for Nick Shimonek, in my opinion.
Mayfield will open, 1st and 10 from the 25. And on the ground are Rodney Anderson. Will pick up a few on the play. In the game's first 6 possessions, we told you about the 6 touchdowns. There were 422 yards of offense. In the last 9 possessions, only 177 yards and 1 touchdown. After a while, they're going to figure things out. And it's brought down. CeeDee Lamb went up high to make the reception from Baker Mayfield.
This is a base route for Oklahoma. It comes off their smash concept. You'll see clear out in the front, and then CeeDee Lamb just hesitates, and that opens up the middle of the field for a big gain.
Come with tempo and a quick run by Rodney Anderson. He stumbles forward. He's going to be short of the first down. Bring him a 2nd and short.
You know, both of these offenses in the first half, a big reason why there was so much success, they both had balance. They were equal run to pass.
Brings it a 2nd and 1 from the 35.
Here's Mayfield to throw. And complete to Marquise Brown. And he has the first down. DeMarcus Fields made the stop. I think you're anticipating pass to start the game. Both teams came out able to run the ball effectively. 18-yard gain on that last play. Here's Anderson. Already has one touchdown. Won't get the second right now. 6-inch line for Rodney Anderson.
You see the ultra-fast tempo from Oklahoma in this first drive of the second half. See from the progressive pylon cam, and they punch it in.
Baker Mayfield will get the touchdown himself. He had 2 rushing touchdowns a week ago. And that's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And that's how you start the third quarter.
Yeah, and I don't know what Lincoln Riley said at halftime. Probably wasn't as spirited as it was in Manhattan a week ago because they played well in this game. But you wanted to start fast if you're Oklahoma in the second half. You don't want to let Texas Tech hang around. You don't want a fourth quarter game here. You want to step on the gas pedal.
Took a whole 72 seconds to go 75 yards in 6 plays. And Oklahoma now has a 35-20 lead. We'll see how Texas Tech answers. We take a look now at our Pacific Life game summary. And it was a lot of the officials with their hands in the air.
Yeah, a lot of touchdowns so far in this game. Started off Nick Shimonek to Batson. Baker Mayfield with the answer. A lot of these throws down the field, piercing throws, big plays in the first half. These defenses have made adjustments, but I think Oklahoma, the difference between these two teams is the strength of Oklahoma's offensive line and running game, and that consistency certainly on display in the first drive of this second half after Baker Mayfield punches it in.
Got a little assist from Rodney Anderson. A little push. The score, we'll see how the Red Raiders and Texas Tech will counter now, trailing by 15. Everything Oklahoma still wants on the season, all their goals, it's still there for them. Still out in front of them. It'll be very interesting when the College Football Playoff Committee gets together and they rule for the first time on Tuesday, and then every Tuesday after that through the 28th of November.
I think Oklahoma's hanging on to what the storyline that Clemson used a year ago, right? They lost that game against Pitt at home, but they didn't let it linger. They took care of their business the rest of the way and got to the end. You know, and the feather in the hat of Oklahoma is that Ohio State win early in the season. So if they can take care of business, adding on that 13th data point we heard so much about in the Big 12 championship game, I think if they win out, they're going to be hard to keep out of the Final Four.
Every national champion in this young playoff era has had a loss.
Yeah, and there hasn't been somebody that hasn't made it to the college football playoff that hasn't been a Power 5 conference winner.
Shimonek lofts one down the sideline, overshot T.J. Vasher.
See the frustration on Nick Shimonek. A little indecision there, not on the same page with Vasher. Vasher's a talented player. He just wants him to go straight down the field, and he wants to throw it as far as he can. But a young player not always on the same page.
Senior quarterback, redshirt freshman wide receiver. 2nd and 10. Shimonek to throw. And able to complete short of the marker. 3rd down and short. Daquan Bowman, his first catch of the night. Third and 2. This feels like an important play in this game for Texas Tech. Gonna run it with Trey King. He's got the first down and plenty more.
Well, I've been impressed with Trey King. You know, Justin Stockton is not playing in this game. He was hurt, had a concussion a week ago. And Trey King, the junior, at 5'11", 190 pounds, has really stepped up. We've seen a little bit of Des Nisby, but it's been predominantly King, and he has shouldered the load.
Up to 93 yards for the game so far. Here's Shimonek throwing, trying to go over the top to Vasher. And they will call it a catch.
Boy, great throw here from Shimonek. And you see the talent of T.J. Vasher. Again, 6'6". To be able to run like that at 6'6". Imagine when he has another couple of years to put a few more pounds on, gets up to around 215. That's going to be tough in the Big 12 to stop.
And I like he goes right back to the young receiver who most likely ran the wrong route the last time. Give the kid another chance. 1st and 10. Inside the 25. Quick throw. Airmailed Quan Short, who isn't. Shorts goes 6'2" out of Humble, Texas.
And that last play, the long completion, that's exactly what they've tried to do most of this afternoon when throwing the balls. Go after these cornerbacks, number 7, Jordan Thomas, and their Parnell Motley, number 11. They're actually really good athletes. They have good size. They're both 6 feet tall, but they struggle when the ball is in the air to locate it and finish plays. We saw that against Iowa State, saw that against Baylor earlier this year.
Second and 10 from Tyler Carr. Shift him to the right. Shimonek off the play fake. Down the sideline. That's pass interference all day and all night. Working on Motley, you were just talking about, Todd.
Yeah, Todd, anytime they get one-on-one coverage, why wouldn't you just throw the ball down the field and give your playmakers a chance? It's good use of the hands there by
Pass
Vasher.
interference. Defense, number 11. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
That's a pretty easy call for the official.
Good look from our progressive camera.
And if you continue to have success with this, then you're going to force Stoops to make another adjustment.
Right, and then you got to be able to run the ball. That's the cat and mouse game.
1st and goal from the Oklahoma 9. Shimonek to throw forward. It is juggled and caught. Cameron Batson. Incredible concentration. What an answer by the Red Raiders.
And a smirk on the sideline from Cliff Kingsbury. Watch the arm angle here from Shimonek. He goes down low, the sidewinder, and tremendous concentration from Batson. That's one thing to do that out on the sideline, but in the middle of the field, he doesn't know if there's a safety coming to knock his lips off. To have that concentration, that's pretty cool.
I thought it was going to be much closer even, that it might have touched the ground. I mean, that's clearly a catch. What a catch it is.
Shimonek looked like he dropped it.
There's Michael Barton for the extra point. Hey, dead center, perfect, right down the middle. 4 touchdown passes for Shimonek. They go 6 plays, 75 yards, and a $138. What an answer by Texas Tech to Oklahoma's touchdown. We start the second half the same way we did the first.
We have a vision for the future. A world...
The Big 12 or losing at home.
Oh, I'm going with the winning.
Listen, I can't be sure, but according to my notes, this could be a trick question.
Oh.
This could be a trick question.
Are you getting in on the Aflac?
No.
You coming up with these questions?
My own preparation. You know those sneaky people in the truck downstairs? Hoffman and Schwabe down there.
Not all the above, right?
They're sneaky. All right. Marcellus Sutton will run it out. And out to the 34-yard line. Now, we're not going to make you wait around.
Thank you.
Here's the answer. Which has happened more frequently since '99? Oklahoma in the Big 12 or losing at home? The answer is, trick question.
Tie.
It's a tie.
Oh, gosh. I hate ties. Always have.
Still pretty impressive, right? I mean, think about it. Since '99, Oklahoma's won the same number of Big 12 titles as home games lost. They've only lost 10 home games. And one of those was the last home game they played in.
Iowa State, yeah. How about the Big 12 could roll through Ames, Iowa? How about that?
Can we tell the people what we thought of Iowa State when we left there on that Thursday night?
I thought they were awesome.
You did not say that on the broadcast or in the car afterwards.
I thought Matt Campbell was awesome. I mean, he's made a huge difference.
I think a lot of athletic directors would agree.
Well, we did the game, obviously, with Jacob Park before he took a leave of absence. And, it's been a different Iowa State team since then.
Hey, good for them. I'd like to see new blood being successful in winning. Here's Baker Mayfield throwing and completing the Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, the true freshman from Richmond, makes his 6th grab already of the night. And he's got over 100 yards now receiving. Here's Abdul Adams.
You get this tempo going, Steve, they're running one run play. They're running this counter, right? And then you put the tempo and then a couple rollouts, a couple misdirection, play action, and that's why this offense is one of the most explosive in college football.
Mayfield down the middle of the field to Mark Andrews. He's inside the 20.
Texas Tech is scrambling on defense. They're lucky to get lined up by the time Baker gets the ball snapped. They're going fast right now.
Gain of 18 on the play. Quick screen out to Lamb. His 7th grab. And some extra contact in our 3rd personal foul of the game. Vontae Dorsey and Desmond Smith come over. And the late hit.
And this is Dorsey, number 15.
Play was over. Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 15 of the defense. That'll be half the distance to the goal. First down.
You good with that one?
Yeah, that's pretty easy to call there. And he's going to take a seat on the bench. Take a look at Mayfield here. It looks like he was limping after this throw got kicked, by Orlando Brown, 340 pounds. That's going to happen from time to time, but that's not going to keep him out.
From the 8 of Texas Tech, Mayfield almost tripped up again, trying to get rid of it, and he's able to do so. Bring up a 2nd and goal.
Pass is incomplete.
Boy, he's a competitor, isn't he? He doesn't give up on any play. He's over there. He's got 2 guys, 2 Red Raiders hanging on top of him, and he just wants to throw the ball away. And he pops up afterward, and now one of these defenders is down for Texas Tech.
Montel Gilmore, sophomore from Spring, Texas. While he's being attended to, he'll step out. Oklahoma knocking at the door again.
Discover card. Hi, I'm just looking at my account, and I've got all this extra cash back. Yep, that's your cash back.
I sold you an old school, right? The ghouls and goblins.
I prefer superheroes myself, but they want to be scary.
I got a Supergirl in my house.
You do?
Yeah. Speaking of superheroes.
Want to tell me about it?
Oh, I got 2 Supergirls.
Got it.
Yeah. 11-year-old and 39.
A little older than 11. Got it.
39 forever.
Leave it at that. Sure. Here's Mayfield to throw. High point, CeeDee Lamb. Knocked away. Desmond Smith able to knock it away.
A great throw here from Baker Mayfield. Perfect position for CeeDee Lamb. Go up strong to that ball. But give Desmond White credit. He fought all the way to the ground. And that ball comes out. We're talking with David Gibbs, defensive coordinator for Texas Tech. He said, he was worried about Oklahoma running through him like a buzzsaw because he knew the talent. But he said his kids, the difference this year, they're not going to give up. And that's a great sign right there from Des White.
3rd down and goal. Mayfield off his back foot finds Mark Andrews. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
This was an all-out pressure from Texas Tech, and David Gibbs decides to try to get to Baker Mayfield, but Mayfield reads it. There's no safety in the middle of the field. He had one-on-one coverage with Andrews on Vontae Dorsey and just put it in his belly.
See if they're looking at something.
Every scoring play, they're going to look to make sure that Mark Andrews secured that football.
The previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
It came out late. Yeah, Ronte Dorsey was fighting
really late.
He's got the ball. Remember, he's got, for there to be a catch, he has to control it all the way through the ground.
Slow-mo, that is tough.
Boy.
But that, Grease, that would speak to, again, those defenders not giving up.
Yes.
That would be easy. Nobody would blame you for giving up on that one. Surely looks like a touchdown. Ronte Dorsey said, I'll play it till the very end. Yeah, you'll speak. Yeah.
What do you say?
I'd like to say in the spirit of football, that's a touchdown. Yeah. But in the way they've been calling it, maybe not.
This is the hardest rule that officials have now. This catch, no catch, controlling the ball all the way through the ground, right? The ball can move, but you have to control it. He's down, rolls onto his back.
And right there, shouldn't it be a touchdown?
I think that's a touchdown.
Please.
And it's that close. It was called a touchdown on the field. It's hard to overturn that, I would think.
Yes.
Although we've seen more definitive catch be overruled. Okay, so
seen everything.
This is the most difficult one to.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
I believe they got that one right.
I think that's the right call. Yeah. That's one that can go. Historically, in the last couple of years, we've seen go both ways.
And now, Austin Seibert will come on for the extra point. No problem for Seibert. He's been perfect all season, perfect tonight with extra points. Make it 42-27. See if we're going to get to last year's numbers. All kinds of records were broken last year when these two teams got together. But Patrick Mahomes was on the other side last year. Texas Tech threw for 5 touchdowns, 734 yards. His passing yards tied the NCAA record. Then on the other side, Baker Mayfield for 545 yards and 7 touchdowns, which broke the school's all-time passing touchdown mark. 1,708 combined offensive yards, set a new NCAA record as Oklahoma got the best of Texas Tech down 66-59. And we are actually ahead of last year's pace in terms of points.
109 plays Tech ran in that game a year ago. And the offenses are more well-oiled than the Boomer Schooner. Had a little problem there on the 10-yard line. Broke down, had to unhitch.
That's one of the biggest cheers of the night. And this crowd has had plenty to cheer about.
Was that the prom queen?
This is back in the old days when they first started the tradition. They had students pulling the cart. And then somebody figured out, hey, you know what? We got some horses in these parts. Hey, here's an idea. Let's have the horses pull the cart.
Well, they tried to make a tight turn, and they had to unload and unhitch the horses, and then there you go. They can, whatever you got to do to get it off.
Somebody get a reading on the odometer. That's the 6th trip tonight. They're making some trips. They're putting some mileage on the old carriage there. Cameron Batson will run it out. Batson cutting across the field. And he's out to the 29. The ball came out, and so did a flag. I feel like Batson's been on the verge of breaking one every time
tonight. Had a heck of a game, yeah. Had a heck of a game. That ball came out, and Rico Jeffers, the linebacker, popped on it for Texas Tech.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 11 That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
11 is Rico Jeffers. Yeah.
Despite the fact that Jeffers with a heads-up play to jump on the ball, he had a boneheaded play here with a block in the back. Yep, that's pretty easy. And it backs up Nick Shimonek in this offense inside their own 20.
So they'll mark off the yardage. And Texas Tech will start now at their own 19. Trailing 42-27. Still 10 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Shimonek off the play fake. Able to complete to T.J. Vasher, and he's got some running room. Vasher able to get away from the tackle of Parnell Motley.
He talked with Mike Stoops, their defensive coordinator. He said the reason that they gave up so much last year in this game was tackling, and Motley here misses the tackle, and he's lucky they get a little bit of support, or Vasher would have been in the end zone.
It's a gain of 27.
It was a strong throw from Nick Shimonek from the opposite hash to the outside the numbers. He's got a big-time arm.
Tyrese Lott just ran on for Oklahoma. Out to QT for the short gain.
Tech has had answers. I mean, they've had to get these drives and touchdowns just to stay within striking distance. Haven't been able to tie it up here in the second half, but they are not backing down, and this offense has certainly enough firepower to stay in this game.
376 yards of offense for Texas Tech. And looking for yet another answer. On the ground. Trey King.
What's interesting to me is both of these offensive styles very similar. We know Cliff Kingsbury, Lincoln Riley, both from the Mike Leach tree. Both of these guys today in this game tonight are using that counterplay. They have the same structures running the football and throwing the football. The biggest difference between these two offenses is the mobility and playmaking ability of Baker Mayfield, his ability to run the ball, whereas Shimonek is more of a pocket guy.
Mass substitutions of that Sooners defense. The 3rd and 3. Seems to be some confusion. Trey King, when they've needed a first down, they've gotten it, but not right there. And a flag flies in late.
They might get Cameron Batson. He was trying to block the nickel back, and he pushed him right in the back. It was right at the point of attack and allowed Trey King to make a move.
Well, Brad Van's been wearing out that microphone here in the second half.
Speaking about getting worn out, how'd you like to be sitting next to Mike Stoops in the press box?
No thanks.
Illegal block in the back. Number 13 in the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
Yeah, that's the right call. Batson, you know, he was late. There was a blitz off the edge. Stoops, it's a nice call to come off the edge, and that's Johnson, and Batson just pushes him in the back, and that's a great job by this officiating crew seeing that.
So make it 3rd and 13 now. Just rushing 3. Shimonek trying to get out of there. Not going to do it. Fistful of jersey. Able to bring him down.
Take a look at this spin move from Okoronkwo. This is NFL type move right here. Wow.
DJ Ward eventually got that fistful of jersey. But Okoronkwo forced the issue. And that poor offensive lineman wanted nothing to do with that move.
No, that's a moneymaker right there.
That's NFL quality?
That's a moneymaker.
Bring up a 4th and 14. Panazzolo is set to punt it away. Fair catch is called for with not a lot of breathing room at the 21. It's a 36-yard punt. Hey, kick off your Week 8 NFL Sunday with ESPN tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Sam and the gang will get you set for all the exciting action. And then Monday night, cap it off, it's the Broncos and the Chiefs. Old-time NFL football. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown.
The Red Hats. The Red Hats.
What do you mean?
That's what they used to call them. You know, David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator for Texas Tech, his dad was the legendary offensive line coach with many teams, but I had him as a line coach in Denver, and he always used to talk about the Chiefs and that rivalry. There's David. And his dad, Alex, would talk about playing the Red Hats and the rivalry, and he'd talk about, you know, the players they had, Derek Smith, Derek Thomas, all these guys, Dale Carter, James Hasty, and how nasty that rivalry. That's where I learned that rivalry was from David Gibbs' dad out.
What I loved about the stories was he was the offensive line coach, right?
Yes.
But he seemed to coach everybody else up.
Well, he definitely let me know if I didn't carry out a fake or if I didn't protect his line.
You had a quarterbacks coach, didn't you?
I did, Gary Kubiak, yeah. But no, Doc, his nickname was Doc, and he would coach everybody, including the other coaches, by the way.
I enjoyed that conversation last night very much. Here's Mayfield to throw with all sorts of time. Middle of the field, it is intercepted. Justice Parker comes up with a pick in the coverage on Mark Andrews.
There's an aggressive throw from Baker Mayfield, and I like the aggressive nature. And you take a chance down the field with Andrews, as big as he is, you think at worst he'll be able to knock it down, but a great individual effort by Parker. We've got a Tech player down.
It's Eli Howard, we believe. The defensive end.
He's looking left, and he comes back and sees one-on-one. Yep. Andrews got to knock that football down.
He kind of mistimed his jump. Texas Tech said they needed a turnover to win this game. They've got their first turnover of the night. We'll go the other way when we come. It's the fourth largest crowd in stadium history here, better than 86,309 on hand, about 1,600 shy of the all-time record, which was set here last season when Ohio State came to town. And they're watching a high-scoring affair. They certainly figure to be enjoying that Oklahoma has a 42-27 lead. But fresh off the Baker Mayfield interception, here come the Red Raiders, starting at their own 36. Nick Shimonek to throw down the field, and he had his man Dylan Cantrell, but a little too strong for him. Jordan Thomas on the coverage.
Yeah, I think the one adjustment Nick Shimonek needs to make is on these deep throws, he wants to throw the perfect ball. He wants to throw it over the receiver's shoulder with his arms extended, running away. And the problem with that is you got to be perfect every single time. If you're going to miss a little bit short and allow Cantrell an opportunity to go back up and catch that football.
Second down and 10.
That's your man.
Rushing 4. Shimonek in some trouble, and he's going to be taken down. Nick Shimonek is sacked by DJ Ward.
I think the threat of Okoronkwo off the left side of Shimonek forces him just naturally. He knows he's back there, so he flushes to the right, and he flushes right into Ward. I mean, that was good protection if he would trust the backside to take care of Okoronkwo, but he's been hit by him so much that it's hard to trust that.
Like Terrence Steele was getting some help at the right tackle position. Not enough. 3rd and 22. Set up the screen for Trey King. Has some running room. And we'll get back just past the original line of scrimmage. Khalil Houghton brought him down, and it will bring up a 4th down. You know, every one of these Oklahoma defensive backs got a tip sheet this week. And on the tip sheet, all it said was 88 equals 734. Those were the passing attempts by Patrick Mahomes and the yardage he put up against them last year, as if they needed the reminder.
Yeah, you walk a fine line there with the motivation versus, you know, worrying these guys about this Tech offense.
There's Panazzolo to punt it in the air to his left. CeeDee Lamb will call for the fair catch. Baker Mayfield continues to add to his numbers and continue to rise up the ranks. Already passed his former coach, Cliff Kingsbury. Say goodbye to Chase Daniel as well. Look out, Colt McCoy.
Yeah, he's coming for him.
You're next on the list.
I mean, Graham Harrell and Landry Jones, those are some stratospheric numbers. Be tough to reach for Baker, but you know that he would relish passing Colt McCoy from his rival, Texas.
Baker named the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, which must seem like ho-hum, like nothing to a guy like who's put up the numbers he has. Won it for the 3rd time this season. Rodney Anderson running, losing his shoe, but hanging on to the football. Or there is a shoe down.
I thought it was interesting. We were talking with David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator for Texas Tech last night. He said that he felt like Oklahoma were the New England Patriots of college football, at least offensively.
Yes.
That they got into the perfect play every single time, that they had the rhythm. And Coach Gibbs is a 9-year NFL DB coach, so he knows what that looks like and the way that Tom Brady operates that offense, and it has total control at the line of scrimmage. And that's what he said. Oklahoma is at that level offensively at the college football ranks.
So that makes Lincoln Riley Bill Belichick then? Take that comparison.
Much more gregarious than Belichick.
So Riley is 34. He's the youngest head coach at FBS. I said, would you like people to stop harping on the age? He goes, look, it doesn't really bother me, but I will be happy when someone hires someone younger. But he said the age thing's overblown. You can either coach or you can't coach. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's what happened with Kingsbury. He was the youngest at 33 when he was hired, and then Riley's, taking the attention away from Kingsbury, so he'll be somebody.
There always is. There's Mayfield throwing on the run and completing. Marquise Brown. See where they spot him. It's not even close. It was going to be short of the marker. Now he's got it by a yard or two. They'll move the chains.
The other really impressive thing was the amount of talent that left this Oklahoma offense in the offseason with D.D. Westbrook and Samaje Perine, Joe Mix, so many talented players, and they have kept their foot to the pedal.
Anderson stays on his feet. Got the first down. He's inside the 30. Rodney Anderson has been impressive. Monte Dorsey eventually tripped him up.
And I think a big reason why they've been able to handle those losses has been this offensive line. And I think everybody knew about Orlando Brown, the left tackle, but in my opinion, Bobby Evans, the right tackle, has played just as good a football as Orlando Brown, but people don't talk about him because Brown is 6'8", 340 pounds, and he's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Anderson's over 100 yards rushing. He'll look to add to that total. They're over 500 yards offense for the game.
And here's Bobby Evans right here, 71, pulling around. Does a great job. He's got good feet. Engages a linebacker and just gets enough hole for Anderson.
And all 5 starters from the offensive line back from a season ago. That can only help as Anderson picks up a few more.
That's the recipe for winning football. Consistency on the offensive and defensive lines. And when you look at the Big 12, right? You look at what's happening now. TCU loses to Iowa State. The teams that have the solid offensive lines, solid defensive lines, those are going to be ones at the end. That's part of my problem with Oklahoma State. A lot of flash,
right,
but that offensive line has been up and down. Now, they got healthy. They got Lundblade back today in a big win against West Virginia. But I think Oklahoma's got the best offensive line in the Big 12.
Out of the shotgun snap. Mayfield will hand it off to Abdul Adams. I thought it was interesting. People took real notice of that game a week ago, the Oklahoma State-Texas game that we called 13-10. Oh, here comes the Big 12 all of a sudden now. The offensive numbers are coming down. It's going to be turned into a defensive league. And then, of course, Oklahoma State puts up another 50 today. And we see what Oklahoma's doing here.
Well, I think defenses are getting a little bit of a beat on the spread offense. I mean, we see what Iowa State has done, okay? So John Haycock, their defensive coordinator, outstanding job. 7 points against TCU today. They come in here, they beat Oklahoma. He's got some things he's doing differently from a defensive standpoint that's really neutralizing the speed of the spread.
Hand off to Anderson. Good stop by Jordan Brooks. Iowa State is quickly becoming the darlings of America. I heard Kevin Nagandi say it earlier. They control their own destiny.
Absolutely.
Iowa State.
Absolutely.
That's why they play the games, Chris. Did not see that coming when we were there on that Thursday night.
Well, you look at the rest of their schedule. At West Virginia next week. Okay, that'll be a tough game. Then they welcome Oklahoma State to Ames. Okay, that game. And Oklahoma State coming off of Bedlam.
Yeah, Bedlam looms next week. Mayfield for Michael Jones. And there is a flag down after the touchdown. Took a big shot. It's Lamb, I beg your pardon. Seems to be okay. Took a big shot as he came down with the touchdown.
Yeah, it's a great catch from C.D. Lamb, and I think the official reflexively threw the flag, thinking that this might be a targeting, because it was a big hit. Yeah.
And the crowd reacts as they watch the replay with you.
Ja'Shawn Johnson, the safety, and he, as soon as he gets up, I think he knows. You just got to lower that strike zone. You can't go anywhere up in that head or neck area. And I see a lot of players around college football that are doing a better job of that. And Ja'Shawn got to learn from that one. It's a 3-year starter.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. We also have a personal foul targeting number 7 of the defense. That play will be under further review.
Ja'Shawn Johnson tonight made his 33rd consecutive start.
Yeah. Big part of that secondary for Tech. He's their senior leader.
And if that targeting holds up, that streak will come to an end next week. Baker Mayfield with his 4th touchdown pass of the night. That would tie a season high. And there's still plenty of football time left.
You know, and in defense of Ja'Shawn Johnson, like you see C.D. Lamb, his head comes down fast there, right? So Ja'Shawn might be aiming for that 9, aiming for the chest. And it's so hard on these safeties now because receivers are going to cringe. They're going to ball up. Watch Lamb's head go down, and it's changed the strike zone. And it's I understand the rule, but it's so tough on these safeties in particular, and they're losing valuable time playing in these games. It's tough.
And a few series ago, we're praising the defensive backs for playing till the very end of every play. Right. Plays in the end zone. Keep fighting, keep fighting. And he's trying to make a play and knock the ball free.
It's a big play for C.D. Lamb. You know, he's a true freshman, and they really need him to continue to grow as this season goes on. He's been the kind of replacement for D.D. Westbrook. He got hurt at Iowa State, and they felt like he hadn't really been the same. But this week in practice, they liked what they saw, the coaches did, and comes up with a big catch.
After review, the ruling of targeting is confirmed. Number 7 is disqualified from the game. The penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
Ja'Shawn Johnson is gone. And again, that will end his consecutive start streak next week. He doesn't want to leave the field. He's got the C on his uniform.
Just want to give one more word to his defense there. You know, it's kind of captain, leader.
And as he is escorted off, Austin Seibert. Seibert's been pretty busy. All these kickoffs and extra points. And he's the punter, too. 7 touchdowns on the game. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart. Out here in the field. 532 total yards. And a 49-27 lead with 1:41 still left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Seibert kicking off from midfield. And while Baker Mayfield got all the attention coming into the game, Shimonek's actually done Pretty nice job here tonight.
He played well. He is not the reason that that Oklahoma has 49 points, right? He's done his part, but he knew he was going to have to put up points, light up the scoreboard, to stay in this game with Baker Mayfield.
Shimonek is a guy who's had to sit behind 4 different quarterbacks who were all drafted into the NFL. C.J. Beathard and Jake Rudock at Iowa, and Davis Webb and Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. So he's waited patiently in an era where everybody's transferring out. They get the first sniff. They might not be the starter. They're gone. And so full marks to Nick Shimonek for hanging in there and having an outstanding senior season himself. Shimonek, the throw, he's not done. Tried to hook up on the slant and could not complete it to Kiki QT.
Yeah, I felt talking with Nick Shimonek last night. You know, he puts a lot of pressure on himself. This is his one shot, and he's from a small town. You know, and he's put so much time and energy and effort into this, and he's in prime time against Oklahoma. And but he's come out and he has delivered for his team.
2nd down and 10. How small was his town?
300.
There has to be a stop sign in his town. They said, yep, at a gas station. Handoff to Trey King. King trying to avoid a loss and turn nothing into something, and he does. What an effort by Trey King. Keeps on fighting.
You asked him where the best place to eat was in his small town.
The answer was the same.
He said the gas station.
They got great wings at the gas station. Hey, what do you do? Best restaurant in town. Shout out to Mildred.
Is that the town, or is that somebody who works at the gas station? Okay.
I mean, it could be her name also. I don't know. Mildred in Iowa. That's knocked away. Trey King, the intended target. Caleb Kelly got fingertips on it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 31 of the defense. To be 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That's Okoronkwo.
Yeah, they got to stop to get off the field, and this ball's out, and that's a late anywhere. I mean, that's just like we talk about Jay Sean Johnson. You go up anywhere high on a quarterback, and they're going to call that, and the elbow in the back of the head.
And that's his bandaged, clubbed up right hand, too. It's got the thumb issue, the pinky issue earlier. And it's a first down. Shimonek is throwing and hitting Vasher, and an excellent tackle by Parnell Motley to make sure that Vasher stays put. Coming up on the final half minute of play here in the 3rd quarter. Just joining us, first 6 possessions of the night, 6 touchdowns, 3 by each team. Here's Shimonek trying to set up the screen to King. Takes a big shot, stays on his feet. DJ Ward got there first.
Great hustle by DJ Ward. We've called his name quite a few times on the perimeter. The defensive end, good effort.
A 3rd quarter that saw the Sooners open things up. They lead 49-27 as we head to the 4th. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. In Oklahoma. Under the lights, prime time on Saturday night. The Sooners have 49 on the board. 7 touchdowns, as you might imagine. They lead Texas Tech 49-27 as we open up quarter number 4. The ball spotted just shy of midfield for Nick Shimonek on 3rd down and 6. Shimonek rolling to his right, picks up a good block. Did he get enough for the first down? No. The block was not good enough to get him the first down. It'll bring up 4th down. Okoronkwo made the stop.
No question from Cliff Kingsbury. Quick decision to go for it on 4th and short.
They were going for fourth down in the first quarter. Trailing by 22. Here in the fourth, early stages. Fourth down and 1. Handoff to King. And he will have enough yardage. Monty Bledsoe made the stop, but not until he got to the marker.
Look at all these hand signals, man. Cliff Kingsbury is the head coach, play caller. He's got all this stuff going on.
Little Johnny Manziel thing going on there.
That's hurry, yeah. Look at all those hands. It's like sign language out there. And he's so fast, I don't know how you read that as a quarterback.
How much of that is decoy? That means nothing.
It's not a decoy. I think that's repetitive.
Then those like an indicator, like in baseball.
Previous play of the ruling of a first down is under further review.
They're going to check that spot. Hey, just to clean this up so I don't get any ats on Twitter about Nick Shimonek. It was Mildred, Texas, is where he's from, that small town of some 300 people. And apparently they got the best wings in the region at the local gas station. Put that story to bed.
So you had to get to the... again, these challenges on these line to gains in the middle of all those offensive linemen are almost never overturned.
Yellow line is unofficial.
Yeah. So hard to see.
And the call on the field is first down.
Except for the one in the Ohio State-Michigan game last year. That one wasn't hard.
No, that was easy for you.
What a game that was tonight. Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State, I mean, the way that they started that game, giving up that touchdown to Barkley, but they didn't give up.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down.
There it is, the rubber stamp on those calls. But up 21-3.
I know. And, I mean, that game between Oklahoma and Ohio State, mark my word, that's going to come back, right? Because those two teams, if Ohio State continues to play, Michigan's down, and if Ohio State goes to the Big Ten Championship and plays Wisconsin, that'll work itself out, and the winner of that'll go. But that Oklahoma-Ohio State game could come back to roost at the end of the year.
That was the Buckeyes' biggest comeback since 1989. Here's Trey King. See how close he is to the first down marker. He's second and short. DeMarcus Felton in the game now. Swing pass, gonna throw it. Batson was gonna throw it. He was well past the line when he faked the throw, but he has the first down. Texas Tech is not giving up on this game.
Nope.
Empty.
First down.
Well, you got to think that Oklahoma defensively is starting to wear down this pace, the number of plays. Not a lot of breaks. 64 plays for Tech already.
Shimonek throws, and it is dropped by Dylan Cantrell.
They've slowed the pace down here, Tech has. They want to get the right plays called, take their time, maybe protect their defense a little bit because they've been out there quite a bit.
Play clock at zeros.
We'll take a timeout.
Texas Tech takes their first time out of the half. It'll be a media break.
It's been exciting, back and forth in the first half, and Oklahoma has kind of put a stranglehold on this game in the second half. Mayfield has been efficient, as he has been all year, the most efficient passer in college football this season. And Anderson followed up a great game a week ago against Kansas State, where he kind of saved Oklahoma from the upset in Manhattan, came back and put another 124 on the ground tonight.
And Nick Shimonek has done his part to stay in this game for the Red Raiders. Off the play fake, Shimonek set up the screen, out to Cantrell. He's got first down yardage. And Cantrell still on his feet. He'll get the extra push. And he's knocked down at around the 7-yard line. Texas Tech not done. First and goal.
A lot of offense for Texas Tech. They were shut down last week against Iowa State. You could tell they were frustrated this week in practice, and despite the fact there's nothing to do with what they were going to do defensively in this game, they were going to come out and fight and take their shots on offense all night.
26 yards on that pitch and catch. First and goal from the 6. Shimonek will give it to King. He's inside the 5.
I've been impressed with King. He runs hard and he catches the ball well. Now there's a question as to whether Justin Stockton, their starting tailback, who suffered a concussion last week, has had a series of concussions, whether he's going to be able to come back anytime soon for Tech. So it's going to be King and Nisby in the near future.
King's over 100 yards, 23 carries, 111 yards. His previous high was 98 in the game. Second and goal. Shimonek looking right and throwing that way to Vasher. And Motley was there with the coverage. And in case Vasher wasn't sure it was an incomplete pass, Motley lets him know about it.
This ball was thrown a little bit too hot. You throw that back shoulder, got to give him a little bit of time, make sure that Vasher's head is around so we can see the throw.
Yeah, Vasher does look lean out there. 6'6", 190. Redshirt freshman from Wichita Falls, Texas. Third and goal. 5 to snap it. Handoff to King. And he crashes down to the 2. Kenneth Murray, the tackle.
Great tackle there from Kenneth Murray, the true freshman, 240 pounds, 6'2". He's a player Oklahoma can build defensively around. This brings up a 4th and goal, and Tech has to have it.
They're huddling without the 3 receivers to the right.
I'm going to do this little sugar huddle. They come up and go on a quick count.
Desmond Nisby trying to push the pile. Didn't get there. Nisby might have gotten a yard, but not 2. And they'll turn it over on downs. Oklahoma football.
We give some credit to that defensive line. Lampkin, Overton. They've given up some yards on the ground so far in this game. Amani Bledsoe is playing for the first time as a starter. Neville Gallimore was out for this game, but they got enough push up front to keep Nisby out of the end zone.
It's a 14-play, 73-yard drive that results in goose egg.
How about the adjustments from Coach Stoops in the defense? They scored 20 points, Texas Tech did in the first quarter, 7 points since. It's pretty impressive.
And it's been a kind of a bend, don't break since then. And Mike Stoops, he runs hot. You know, always entertaining. He's got a lot of defense in. Tried some new things in this game. Didn't work in the first half, and kind of went back to his old script and had a lot more success being more aggressive.
Baker Mayfield is 5 yards into his own end zone. Throwing on the run, trying to get out of there and hit one. Marquise Brown was there. Might have been dropped. Monte Dorsey had the coverage. 2nd and 10, backed up from their own 1-yard line.
That was a big-time throw there from Baker Mayfield. I mean, running full sprint to your right, and Marquise Brown was behind the defense. I've been impressed with Baker Mayfield this year in his arm. His arm strength is underrated. An underrated part of his game, I think. His accuracy has always been there. His competitiveness, in my opinion, is his #1 strength. And that comes from, you know, his whole journey. Having to fight for everything he had, walking on Tech, walking on here. And I think that projects to the next level, you know.
Trying to fight the law, fight Texas Tech, fight the NCAA. Dimitri Flowers
Todd, what do you think of him for the next level?
I think he can make it. Now, I think it has to be the right situation. You know, Russell Wilson, a good example. I'm not saying he's a perfect comparison, but just using him properly and giving him some time to adjust. We've seen some more guys from spread offenses. Jared Goff, first year was completely lost. But then the second year, you see in the right system with a different coaching staff and coaches that can actually coach quarterbacks and can teach them the verbiage, and you've seen the difference. So I think he's got a shot. I think he's either going to be a great backup, or if everything goes right, he's got a chance to be a good starter in the league. I thought your comparison to Brett Favre, Grease, was really intriguing. Just a lot of the competitiveness and what he brings to the table.
Yeah. You know, and I was talking with Lincoln Riley about him yesterday, because I pulled Lincoln aside and wanted to get his real take on it. And you know, he told me, it's funny you bring up Russell Wilson, because that's who he kind of said, listen, I've seen Russell Wilson, and Baker can throw the ball better than Russell Wilson, and he can run, right? He can make plays. He's got the confidence, got everything you need to play that style of play at the next level. And I just made the comparison to Brett Favre, because Brett Favre, nobody thought he could do it, right? Coming out of high school. And then he went to the Atlanta Falcons. Nobody thought he could learn the offense, right? And it was just everybody telling him, you can't. And finally, in his mind and in Baker's mind, he said, you know what? I'm going to absorb all of it. And I'm going to build this chip on my shoulder that's so big that I'm going to get the most out of my talent, and that's exactly what he's done. I wouldn't count him out.
He used to write it down, handwritten on like a scrap paper, and now he's graduated to having an app on his phone.
Of course, there's an app for everything, right?
Right, where he takes the criticism. It's Rodney Anderson. He'll be short of the first down.
But, I mean, there's no substitute for being accurate. There's no substitute for being smart, for being able to read defenses, for being able to know how you're protected. You know, and then you add on top of that the competitiveness, his mobility. Now, I don't like that he throws sometimes off his back foot, or, you know, he's going to have to work on some of those things. His footwork in the pocket, staying in the pocket, and then he's going to have to maneuver around like a Drew Brees or like a Russell Wilson to find throwing lanes. But I think those things can be overcome, quite honestly.
On 3rd and 1, Mayfield has the first down. The quarterback sneak. So, guys, we got a chance to see Mason Rudolph last week. We saw Sam Darnold the week before. So everybody's so quick to project to the next level. Potentially a Heisman Trophy winner. We would expect him to be in New York. Let me ask you this. Who's the best quarterback in college football right now?
Wow, it's hard to look past number 6, yeah.
Todd, we saw on your list you still have Sam Darnold as number 1 for the upcoming NFL draft, but that's kind of a different question. That's how he projects in the draft, as opposed to who's the best quarterback in college football right now.
Yeah, Mayfield's the best quarterback in college football right now. Yep. There's no question in my mind.
Rodney Anderson set for an update. Here's Cassidy.
Rodney Anderson, the ball carrier.
Cass, thank you. Thanks for keeping us updated on that. And prior to Darnold, we saw Saquon Barkley, and we've had quite a tour of all potential Heisman Trophy finalists, or probably the winner will come from that group of 4.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, you know, Barkley, I know Penn State lost, but he's still right there with Mayfield. It's those two for me. Bryce Love certainly is there if he can get back healthy and continue on his path.
And, you know, Mayfield told us that the Heisman Trophy is the last thing on his mind. That's hard to believe, but should he be in the top 4 again this year? Here are the players, well, all time of 3 finishes in the top 4. Hasn't happened since Herschel Walker. And you see these 4 players, all of them at least one Heisman Trophy.
Well, yeah, and only Herschel Walker since the 40s.
Right.
I mean, that was Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside.
Of course it was.
Those guys
on the same team.
Yeah.
Who was inside, outside?
Grace?
Blanchard's inside. Come on, man. Davis outside. You don't know that?
Marty Aronoff gave you that. Flowers the ball carrier.
Hey, I'll say this, though. Yeah. The loss today from Penn State and Barkley, I know he had the kick return for a touchdown, and he's always so versatile and finds a way to be productive, but only 2.1 yards per carry. Weren't able to get it going in the loss. It kind of opens things up a little bit more, I think. And you could also make an argument that by Bryce Love not playing, and Stanford almost losing to Oregon State, a team that's really struggling this year, it almost increases his value and how you look at him too. So this thing's going to get real interesting, and we always think someone's run away with it in mid-October, but it never seems to be the case.
Barkley had just 44 yards rushing today on 24 carries.
Right. And in the same game, J.T. Barrett made a statement, right? And everybody wrote him off. And I think having the Big Ten championship is necessary, right, to getting to that Heisman Trophy, because he's going to have another chance to impress on a national stage.
I think Barkley's the best player in college football, but Mayfield's the best quarterback. And you know how that goes sometimes.
Yep.
JT was 13 for 13 in the fourth quarter today. 33 of 39 for the game. Had not heard his name in recent Heisman talk. No. And you just put him there.
Well, you make that. It's how you play in the big games.
Yep.
Right?
That was a big game today. Anderson. Moving people with people on his back. A drive that started at their own one. Rodney Anderson. 149 yards for Anderson on 20 carries.
I will say this. I think the most valuable to their team in college football is also Baker Mayfield, because you take him off this team and it's a completely different dynamic, not just on the field, but emotionally, from an energy standpoint. He's the one that drives the energy for this team. And they're going to need it next week, because Oklahoma State and Bedlam is coming next week, and Oklahoma State looked pretty good today.
Flags are down. Check the marker. This is some conversation.
Illegal formation, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Tuesday is Halloween, you might have heard. We've got nothing but treats for you on ESPN. What a night it is. Halloween, and then the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings, 7 p.m. Eastern. A whole lot of folks will be interested in that. Reese and the guys will break it down from top to bottom. Coaches' reactions on the live interview as well with committee chair Kirby Hocutt. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app.
So are you a put a bowl of candy out in front of the house kind of guy, or do you answer the door?
So you want to hear the story? So I'm out of college, living in an apartment in Queens. Got caught off guard by Halloween. It snuck up on me. Kids are knocking at the door.
What'd you give out? Don't tell me it was the peppermints.
No. Let's see. On 1st and 15, it's Rodney Anderson. This is a true story. So we panic, but you don't want to be the bad neighbor. There's a flag down. Started handing out dollar bills.
Okay.
Now, there weren't that many kids. It's one small apartment building. But word spread pretty quickly, and we got very popular.
Only ones?
Yeah, well, I was just out of college.
Oh, okay.
And
I was just out of college, I would have hid.
And we did. We took off and used the fire escape and got out of there.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense number 78, 15-yard penalty, second down.
It's big Orlando Brown. You're going to be smart at the end of these games. You know, the game is out of reach, and here he is right here. He's on a smaller guy. I mean, look, he's pushing him in the face. Just not necessary.
Douglas Coleman. Coleman was hanging on, too.
Big Orlando Brown, 6'8", 345, and he's going to be a heck of a tackle at the next level. Lincoln Riley, he knows. Like it's not about the rest of this game. It's about setting the tone for the remainder of the season and doing things with class and discipline.
6th personal foul tonight on Oklahoma. And again, imposing their will, pushing people and pushing the pile.
I really think they found something at the running back position. They didn't know after losing P. Ryan and after losing Mixon, and they at the beginning of the year, they were relying on a true freshman in Trey Sermon, and Rodney Anderson got passed over, and they needed him because of injury a week ago. He stepped up for him. Abdul Adams was kind of nicked up, but now they've got 3 guys, Steve, that really I think they're going to need if they're going to go where they want to go at the end of this season.
This drive has taken 8 minutes off the clock, and they'll keep it on the ground. Rodney Anderson, great effort, will come up a little short, bring up 4th down. Despite who they've lost, their offensive numbers and statistics are actually up, which is really a credit to Mayfield, the coaching staff. And we asked Baker about that, losing all this great talent and how the statistical numbers are still up. And he said, look, we just keep reloading here in Norman. That's a credit to him and the coaching staff.
They've got talent. And give credit to Anderson, too. He's missed 2 years with injuries, so it has not been an easy journey for him. I love to see players that are able to stick through that an injury and finally get their chance.
Hoping to get a 6th year for him, appealing the NCAA. And on 4th and 3, it's Anderson. And he's got the yardage he needed. Keep the chains moving, and the clock eventually will start ticking down.
And for Tech, you know, this is 3 in a row now that they've been on the short side, and they started so fast. 3-0 start to the season, and it doesn't get any easier for them. They're going to go play Kansas State next week. Kansas State team, that'll be a tough out for them. They still have TCU and a road trip to Texas at the end of the year.
Quick throw. Able to complete to Jordan Smallwood, his first catch of the night. Again, this drive started back at their own 1-yard line. Give me a little feel for Bedlam. What are you anticipating in Stillwater next week?
Well, you know, which Oklahoma State team shows up? Because last week at Texas, that was a team that was flat, and they didn't play very well. Mason Rudolph didn't play very well offensively, but they got it going today against West Virginia. I think it's going to come down to the defenses, right? So Oklahoma State, people aren't talking about their defense, but their defense is much improved. In fact, I think their defense is a little bit better than Oklahoma's, quite frankly. So which team defensively can get the stops, turnovers, I think will have a big key in that game.
Ford wrap-up post-game show is coming up as soon as we are done. I mean, they have taken over 11 minutes off the clock on this one drive to wrap this game up.
And I think you could say, you know, for the first time maybe since that Ohio State game that Oklahoma's played a full game. Complete 60 minutes of football, and what a way to end it in control on offense here.
And everything is still in front of Oklahoma. Everything they want is still a possibility. And again, still hard to believe Iowa State came in as a 31-point underdog here. Iowa State still in controlling their own destiny in the Big 12. What a story, one of the many great stories from this college football Saturday, the last college football Saturday in October, as the final seconds tick off. We'll be back with more. Oklahoma, 617 yards of offense in a 49-27 win.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Walmart. Walmart, save money, live better. And in part by Pacific Life. Experience the